definitely, I need a drink. I have 2 drinks over here. And I have that whole clip. I would like to watch it while I'm reading this. I'm going to upload that to YouTube so we can watch it in the background. I won't block our voices though. All right. Here we go. Okay. Actually, I can't because it blocks my voice and I can't read it. So please hold. I am not over Mackenzie Shirilla because I have more questions. Like, with the context of the text messages, I feel like another thing I did do today. I feel like everything. Oh, first of all, we need to set sacred space. If you are new to healing or here and you set sacred space in a different way, let us know. I was taught when you are traveling between dimensions, you do that during your sleep. I basically would recommend doing it like all the time. But what I was taught to do is I light sage in a candle and I just kind of wrap the sage around me. Feels like it's cleansing. And I call in the guardians of the south, Archangel Michael. I call in Kuan Yin and Isis on the west. I call in Sandalphon on the north. And I call in the Magdalena clan on the east. And I ask the grandmothers of the universe to surround the sacred space. And I would like Raphael to please be our bouncer, to only allow me to hear and say the right things to convey the message. And please protect everyone here, because we only work in the highest and widest light. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Deb, I don't even know if you're in here. I'm sure you are. Please, one of our crew members, Deb, reminded me very kindly yesterday. And I get really, anyway, so here we are. I am just going to hit upload on this one thing, and then they'll be uploading in the background while we're reading. I do want to watch the rest of that video, though. I haven't seen it yet. I just saw that it was inside of court. And obviously, I like seeing who we're talking about. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, and for our Karen Reed friends, I grabbed every transcript of Proctor Albert's interviews. They were released the other day. I was actually thinking of doing a reading on the Alberts, but just watching them lie just still pisses me off. I get so mad still. So nothing's changed. Those were in 24, but when I saw them, nothing changed. Okay, thank you for your patience. That is uploading. We are now heading to court. All right, let's go, team. Okay, Wednesday morning. This is the third day of the trial. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you're on the replay crew, I forgot to say hi to you guys the other night. I love you too. Thanks for hanging out late. Back to normal, hopefully. Okay, Wednesday morning, August 9th, 2023. This is Allison. She has blonde hair. In that video, she was the prosecutor with the blonde hair. The state calls Esther Singh. I apologize, Esther. Dr. Esther, at this time. Does everybody have their cell phones off? Is everyone ready to take off? Please put your tray tables in their upright position. We got an okay from Bobby. He was on the ground telling us that our plane is ready to go, but he's joined us. The gallery, everyone said yes. All of you have your cell phones off? Hello. Man, Judge Rousseau runs a really tight ship. Okay. Please raise your right hand for me. Okay, so this is the doctor getting sworn in. We are going to skip over this because we're here. We are also going to skip over her qualifications. Pretty sure she's a doctor in a trauma center. Oh, she's a trauma surgeon. She's qualified to testify. Okay, so this is Alice. Kapach. Do we have stipulation to the qualifications for doctor, trauma surgeon? that she's an expert in the area of trauma medicine. At this time, we would like to accept, okay, yeah, we qualify her as an expert. And the defense attorney agrees. Okay, doctor, could you please briefly explain for the court, oh boy, what your daily duties are? She's a trauma surgeon, so she's pretty busy. She works normal trauma surgeon hours. If anyone's interested in reading this part, please grab the FOIA request and help yourself. But I am not interested in it for several reasons. Well, okay. So she explained she was sworn in, her qualifications to testify in court, which is a whole nother thing, and then her day-to-day responsibilities. And then the prosecution asks, are these, okay, wait. She talks about they're trauma patients. She's not like talking to them. Oh, okay. So she is talking about, she covers, okay, so on a regular day, I cover the trauma service. Our day starts at 7 with a review of the patients who were admitted overnight, as well as any important overnight events for the patients under our care. And then we go do our rounds and visit with the patients, and we receive new trauma activations as they arrive. The day ends at 5. I'm sorry, the day? The shift ends at 5. Thank you. While you are providing emergency trauma care to a patient, do you yourself and your partners, hey, what's going on here? So she has a team that she works with. Do you yourself and your partners document the progress in any way for a patient? Yes, we document our findings, our thoughts, our concerns, our plans, in an electronic medical record database that we use at Metro Health. Who has access to those documents? Members of the healthcare team. I'm not sure every single person who has access to them within the system. I can ask you a little bit more directly. Would all doctors who are working on a patient have access to a patient's medical records? Yes, I would say that is my expectation. Thank you. Are those medical records ongoing during a patient's stay at Metro Health? You know what they're going to bring up? Remember from the bind over, she also brought up in the bind over that Kenzie told her she wanted to unalive herself. I bet I'm just guessing. Are they updated by time and event? Well, that's the ideal situation. Sometimes too many things are happening at once that you have to generate a document which spans events that happened over several hours, even over the course of an entire shift or an entire day. It's not like Twitter where you can fire off 140 characters at a time while it's all going on. Generally speaking, when a physician is entering something into the medical system, it's updated by time. Is that correct? Yes. Are those records kept in an ordinary course of your business? Yes, we do keep records within the bylaws of our Constitution. If I showed you a copy of a patient's medical records treated by Metro Health in the trauma department, oh, sorry, this is Allison. This is a question. If I showed you a copy of a patient's medical records treated by Metro Health in the trauma department, would you be able to recognize those records? I would expect so, yes. Your Honor, for the record, we have agreed and stipulated to State's Exhibit 1. We have a disc that has been reviewed by counsel. This contains all of if this is in the FOIA, I have not seen it. I'm guessing it's like part of a HIPAA violation, so I don't think we have these to refer to. We'll just have to read the docs. This contains all of the pages of the entire medical records for Mackenzie Shirilla. However, the state is going to be introducing a set of pages through these medical records that have also been examined and stipulated to by the defense counsel. May I approach? Yeah. Doctor, I'm handing you what has been previously marked as State's Exhibit 1. What is State's Exhibit 1? State's Exhibit 1 appears to contain medical records from the Metro Health system. Okay. And if I could direct your attention first to the first page that's up on the screen. What is the first page here depicted on the screen? This appears to be a certification from Marcy Martin, a supervisor in the Health Information Management Department, that these records are true and authentic copies of electronic medical records pertaining to Mackenzie Shirilla. What is, MRN redacted. What is an MRN number? Medical record number. Are you familiar with this page? Yes, I have seen it before. When was this certificate of medical records dated? October 8th, 2023. I'm sorry, excuse me, August 8th. I apologize. I misspoke. Doctor, I'm going to direct you now to the second page that you have on the screen. It's also listed as page 2. It should start with the history of present illnesses. Do you see where I'm looking? I do. If you could, for the record, before we start here at the top with history of present illness, if I could direct your attention all the way down to the bottom of the page, to the left of page 2, underneath the secondary survey. Do you see that? What is the date of birth for Mackenzie Shirilla? It is listed as August 2nd, 2024. Thank you, doctor. Under history of present illness, first, can you explain what that section is designated for? Well, yes, a history of present illness is the section of a note that allows a medical provider to document the circumstances surrounding the condition that has caused the patient to present to this provider for evaluation and treatment. Okay, where is that information obtained from? Oh, the mom, I bet. This information can be obtained from a number of places. Okay, from a number of different sources depending on the patient's situation. Could you give us an example of where this information could come from? Her mom. Most likely it came from the patient. However, in our specific practice, trauma surgery, this information may come from emergency medical services. It may come from a witness of the event that led the patient to present to us. And sometimes it can even come from family members and friends who have offered to give us this information. If you could, for the record, read what the history of present illness states. No chief complaints on file. Next paragraph. Mackenzie Shirilla is a 17-year-old female who is presenting to the emergency department, like the emergency room, as a CAD 2 motor vehicle crash per the EMS drive, like the EMS guys. Unknown time of accident as there were no witnesses. Patient driver with prolonged extraction time. HDS during transport. 2 patients DOA. Patient does not remember what happened and does not remember driving. Reports pain everywhere. Thank you, doctor. Again, for the record, you do not know where that information was obtained from. Is that correct? I do not. Could that information have been relayed by the patient Mackenzie herself? Oh, sure, it could have. Okay, doctor, I'm going to bring you down to where it says past history. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes, I do. If you could, for the record, starting with pertinent past history, reading down to pertinent social history, if you could read that into the record. Pertinent past history, no past medical history on file. Pertinent family history, no family history on file. Pertinent social history on file. Occupational history, not on file because she didn't have one. Tobacco use, smoking status, not in file. Smokeless tobacco, not on file. Substance and sexual activity, alcohol use, not in file. Drug use, not in file. Going to the next section, the physical exam, I'm going to start underneath where it says BP. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes. What does BP mean for the record? It's a common medical brief for blood pressure. What is blood pressure listed as? 100/53. For the record, I'm going to direct your attention to where it says ED notes. Do you see that? Yes. Okay, underneath there is a date and time. Do you see where that's listed? The date and time listed is July 31st, 2022, 11:10 a.m. Doctor, down to blood pressure. You said it was 100/53. That's what I saw listed here. What is typical, considered to be a normal blood pressure in your field? The classic normal blood pressure is often given as 120/80. However, what is normal for a patient may vary depending on their specific characteristics. And the pulse? 85. And what's a typical or a normal pulse in your field? Normal pulse is typically considered to be less than 100. But again, what's normal for a patient may vary based on their pertinent characteristics. Her temperature? was 98.5, 36.9 degrees Celsius. Do you see where I am looking? It says SpO2. What is SpO2, doctor? It's a medical abbreviation for oxygen saturation within the blood. At approximately 11, okay, this is Allison, the prosecutor. Approximately 11 o'clock on July 31st of 2022, what was the blood oxygen or the blood ox for Mackenzie Shirilla? 98%. What is typical for a normal individual? We would expect something in the range of 99 to 100. I'm going to draw your attention to the next section where it says trauma exam. Do you see that? Yes. If you could start with airway and read the results. Airway intact, patient talking, no hoarse or muffled voice. Breathing spontaneous equal to bilateral, formal pulses and palpable radial. DP and PT, disability, C-collar, blocks, backboard, GCS 15, no exposure, no external bleeding noted. And this is the prosecution. And with regards to the airway, based on what is listed from the exam and your expertise as a trauma surgeon, does it appear that the airway was intact and normal? Yeah, I would say this is normal. Her breathing, what is documented here is consistent with the normal exam. Thank you. And the circulation, what's documented here is consistent with the normal exam. Disability, what is a C-collar? A C-collar is a medical abbreviation for a cervical collar. It can be placed by emergency medical staff who are concerned a patient may have a as yet known cervical spine injury. Exposure, no external bleeding. Does that mean? It means we didn't find any blood upon the patient's skin. Thank you, doctor. I'm going to draw your attention to the next page that you have, which is listed as page 7. Is what you have in your hand the same as what's depicted on the screen? I believe so. I'm going to draw your attention first to the date and the time underneath ED notes. For the record, can you read what the date and time is underneath ED notes? The date is listed as July 31st. The time is listed here at 7:44 a.m. Thank you. I'm going to direct your attention all the way to the bottom of the page where it says pre-hospital medications. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes, I do. And if you could read for the record what pre-hospital medications are listed for Mackenzie Shirilla. None. Thanks, doctor. I'm going to draw your attention to the next page, which you also have. On my page, it's 13. Do you have a page listed 13? Yes. I'm going to now draw your attention all the way to the bottom where it says Metro Health Division of Acute Care Surgery. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes. Right above that, to the left of the large print, is an author of these records. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes, I do. Who is now authoring this portion of the medical records for Mackenzie Shirilla? I am listed as the author here. If you could state the date and time that this is listed. The file date is August 1st, 2022 at 5:13 p.m. The date of service is listed as July 31st, 2022 at 7:44. What's the difference between the date of record being August 1st, 2022 and the date of service, July 31st of 2022? The date of service is meant to be an approximation of the time that you evaluated the patient. The file date is the time that you actually entered your findings into the medical record. According to this, the prosecution, according to this, you would have examined Mackenzie Shirilla at approximately 7:44 on July 31st. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Underneath basic injury information, do you see where I'm looking? I do. If you could just read those categories underneath, starting with the level of activation. Level of activation, category 2, trauma upgrade to cat 1. Mode of transport, life flight. Mechanism of injury, motor vehicle crash, high speed, miles per hour. Complicating factors, entrapment, extraction, not prolonged. Protective measures, not applicable. Applicable. I can't. Doctor, I'm going to bring you next to page 14. Do you see what I'm looking at on the screen? Yes. Where it says, let's start with primary survey. Do you see that? Yes, I do. Can you read underneath primary survey? What are the results starting with from the airway, please? Airway intact, breathing normal, breath sounds, equal bilaterally. Circulation, pulses, normal skin color, texture, and turgor. I don't know. No rashes or lesions. Disability, pupils, PERRLA, GCS, best eyes. Best eyes 4, best verbal 5. Oh, we read about these. Okay, best motor 6, total 15. Thank you. As far as breathing, you read her breathing was normal. Is that correct? Yes, that's what I said. And it says that the circulation, her pulse, and the skin were normal too. Is that correct? Yes, that's what I said. Down where it says pupils, it says PERRLA. What does that mean? That's a medical abbreviation for pupils equally round and reactive to light. What does it mean her pupils were also reacting normally? Oh, does that mean her pupils reacting normally? Yeah. Yes. What does GCS stand for? That's a medical abbreviation. Man, we've heard a lot about this Glasgow Coma scale. There's a total number that she can get 100 out, and she had a 15 out of 100. We learned that in the bind over. There's a total number that an individual can reach as far as the Glasgow Coma scale that will indicate their vitals are, okay, this is the prosecutors asking a question. Is there a total number that an individual can reach as far as the Glasgow Coma scale that will indicate that their vitals are reacting normally? A normal Glasgow Coma scale score. Oh, I was wrong. I apologize. This is the doctor. A normal Glasgow Coma scale is 15, but a Glasgow Coma scale score of 15 does not mean all is well with that patient. Can you explain that a little bit for us? It's perfectly possible for a patient with a Glasgow Coma scale of 15 that can be, for example, having a massive heart attack. It's possible for a patient with a Glasgow Coma scale of 15 to be having a stroke. It's just one measure of a patient's neurological status. What's the total score for Mackenzie Shirilla? 15. Doctor, I'm going to bring you down to the secondary survey. Do you see where I'm looking? I kind of want to see if we can find these doctors. Hold on. I'm just going to check really quickly because I'm curious about this. Please hold. Thank you for your patience with Con Air. We are enjoying the friendly skies. So far, so good. This is Dr. Singh, I think. Metro Health. Let's see if we can find these. Oh, we might have them right here. I'm curious. Oh, you know what we didn't, so far, what we do have from Metro Health is the sergeant saying that she wanted to unalive her, or her father telling a doctor, anyway. Okay, I don't think we have that. So we're going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to start with neurologic. Do you see where I'm looking? I do. Can you read the results for Mackenzie Shirilla at approximately 7:44 on July 31st of 2022? What were her results? Neurologic, alert and oriented, appropriate, strength symmetrical, no sensory deficits. And the next section is HEENT. What does that stand for? That's a medical abbreviation for head, eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Okay, and if you could read the results here for her HEENT, head, no lacerations, bone step-offs or abbreviations, midface, stable to palpitation, ecchymosis over right eye. I don't know if I said that right. Doctor, what does ecchymosis mean over her eye? That means that's a medical term. She had some bruising over her eyes. Eyes, PERRLA, conjunctive corneas without lesions, and EOM intact, corrective lenses removed. And if you could just briefly give us a summary of what that finding means for her eyes, that appears to be a normal eye exam. Okay, doctor, I'm going to bring you to the next page. It should be page 15, starting with ears. If you could read that. Ears, no hemp. Do we have any nurses in here that want to jump in? Hempotytum. What does that mean? That's blood emanating from the eardrums. Her nose, her septum midline, no crepitus with motion. What does crepitus with motion mean? That's a medical term for a crunchy feeling. Oh, like a broken nose, I'm guessing. What does that mean? That her nose was normal? No. Crepitus with motion is normal. That's correct. Oh, her throat, oral cavity without trauma. Neck, No midline tenderness, lacerations, or wounds. Pulmonary, breathing sounds clear, symmetrical, there's no wheezing, rales, or consolidation. Did I miss chest? I'm sorry. Could you go back to the chest? Chest. Diffusely tender, no step-offs, deformities, or crepitus? Like, she doesn't have any broken ribs, I'm guessing. Cardiovascular pulses, bilateral, radial, femoral. DP and PT pulses. Man, does that mean her pulse overall was normal? Yes, that's what it appears to say. So she had no distended, no tender to palpitation, no scars, lacerations, or contusions. For rectal pelvis, let's start here. Were those normal results as well? The rectal pelvis and the perineum appear normal. Musculoskeletal, back and spine, no step-offs or deformity noted. Extremities, gross deformity of right elbow, right knee, 2 centimeter laceration to the left knee, ROM intact in LUE-LLE. What's a gross deformity of the right elbow? Oh, it's broken probably. Gross deformity means the patient's elbow did not appear to have a normal shape or size. Doctor, I'm going to bring you down. Are we not going to go? Oh, we're going straight to POTS. I'm going to bring you down to the next section where it says past medical history. Can you read for the record what is her past medical history? POTS, per mother. What is POTS? POTS is a medical abbreviation for, oh man, I wish I had clipped Chris Cuomo explaining this, for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Are you familiar with what POTS is? Well, I've heard of it, yes. Can you give us a brief definition of what POTS means or what POTS is? My understanding is that POTS is a condition of, we have some POTS friend in here who explained some of this to us. If you're in here, claim your fame. POTS is a condition of the nervous system in which the patient may have had an unusually elevated heart rate. Okay, so generally this past medical history section, do you see where I'm looking? Yes, I do. Who provides that information that goes into this section? Well, in an ideal situation, the patient would report this themselves. Does it indicate in this section? Well, yeah, we just read her mom did. Who relayed to the medical staff on July 31st at 7:44, the past history for Mackenzie Shirilla was with POTS. The patient's mother provided this information. Doctor, at any point in time through your review of the medical records, did you see any of the staff at Metro Health Hospital while treating Mackenzie Shirilla consulted with the POTS specialist at any time? It does not appear from my review of the medical records that a POTS specialist was brought in to treat the patient during her hospital stay with us. Okay, based off your review of the entirety of these records, she was not treated for this disease while she was staying at Metro Health. To the best of my understanding, that is correct. Was a cardiac specialist ever consulted with regards to this information that was provided by her mother? In my review of the records, I did not see a consultant to a cardiologist. Was there ever a referral or a consult given by the hospital? A referral or a consult given by the hospital to consult with a neurologist? Oh, so did they ask for a referral with the neurologist regarding this information? To the best of my review of the medical records, I did not see any consultation for neurology for this condition. So at no time during her stay was she treated for this disease or consulted, strike that, referred out to consult with any medical specialist with regards to this. Is that correct? To the best of my understanding, it appears we did not ask a specialist in POTS to see the patient during her hospital stay with us. Again, this information was provided to the hospital by Mackenzie Shirilla's mother. Is that correct? Yes, that's what the medical records indicate. Thank you. Doctor, down at the bottom where it says social history. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes, I do. If you could read for the record what the social history is listed as. Oh, this isn't going to be a good look, Mackenzie. Denies tobacco, ETOH, and drug use. When it says denies, who would be making this denial? It appears we asked the patient to provide us with this information. Thank you. I'm going to draw your attention to page 16. Do you see where I'm looking? Do you have a page 16 in your possession? Yes, I do. I'm going to start midway through where it says review of symptoms. Do you see where that is? I do. I'm going to jump down to where it says respiratory. Do you see where it says respiratory? Yes, I do. Okay. Can you read the results for Mackenzie Shirilla's respiratory system? Respiratory, negative. Okay. Respiratory, negative symptoms. No cough. I don't know what that means. Hepatitis. I don't know what it is. SOB, DOE, PND, or wheezing. Doctor, for the record, is this still, can you tell us what that word is? Is this still 7:44 a.m. on July 31st of 2020? Yes, that's what the medical records say. You're correct. Cardiovascular. Could you please read the results for Mackenzie Shirilla's cardiovascular system at 7:44 on July 31st, I apologize. Negative symptoms. No CP, pressure / tightness, palpitations, orthopnea, PND, SOB, DOE, edema, HA, or vision change. Okay, I'm going to skip the gastrointestinal and skip to neurologic. She's skipping everything back down to neurologic. Can you please read the neurologic results performed on July 31st at 7:44? Negative symptoms. No size, synscope, seizures, weakness, gait problems, burning pain, tremors, or memory loss. Oh, can you continue reading where it says negative? Negative, no arthritic pain, no joint swelling, no muscle weakness. Next, psychiatric, please. Negative, no sleep disturbance, anxiety, memory loss, disorientation, inattention, or feelings of depression. Oh, Mackenzie, your own words are coming to bite you. I'm going to now draw your attention to the basic labs. Can you explain for the court what this section indicates? For our trauma evaluations, we have a standard panel of labs that we ordered for all Category 1 and Category 2 activations. The results appear to be listed here. Doctor, I'm going to draw your attention now to the next page. This should be on page 17. Do you have that in your possession? Yes, I do. I'm going to draw your attention to the middle of the top, where it says ethanol serum. Do you see that? What's that a test for? It's commonly known as a blood alcohol level. Was this test performed on Mackenzie Shirilla? Yes. For the record, date and time, is that listed for the medical record at this point? Yes. It is July 31st. Is it July 31st at 7:44? Yes. That's what's documented here. What was the result of Mackenzie Shirilla's blood alcohol test? Less than 10, which is normal for our laboratory. And next to that, it says a reference range. What does that state? The reference range is non-detected. I'm going to draw I just want to make sure I didn't skip anything right there. Okay, the results are less than 10. Okay, that's normal. And what it says for a reference range, the reference range is non-detected. I'm going to draw your attention to the next page, please. At the bottom should say 360. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes. I'm actually going to draw your attention all the way down to the bottom of the page. Do you see where it says mental status? I do. Could you read what the results were for the mental status here on this scan? Mental status, oriented person, oriented place, oriented time, oriented event. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. Okay, we did it. Oh, no. On the next page, please. It should say 363 on the bottom of your page. Do you see where I'm looking? Yes, I do. What is depicted on page 363? This is the electrocardiogram. What's an electrocardiogram? That's a measure of the electrical function of the heart. And was an ECG performed on Mackenzie? It appears to, yes, that appears to be the case. If you could look underneath the date where it says July 31st, 2022, what time is listed there? 15:32, so 3:32. What is the result of the EKG performed on Mackenzie Shirilla? Normal sinus rhythm with sinus arrhythmia, normal ECG, no previous ECG available. In layman's terms, what does this mean? Our heart Would this mean her heart was functioning appropriately on July 31st at 3:32? This implies the electrical function of the patient's heart was normal. Doctor, I'm going to draw your attention to the next page. For the record, what is this? This is a certification of medical records from Marcy Martin, who is the supervisor of the Health Information Management Department within the Metro Health System. Who are the certified medical records of? These are for Mackenzie Shirilla, MRN, redacted. What is the date of this medical record? August 30th, 2022. For the record, was that redacted's medical record number the same as the first certification sheet that you read? Yes, it is. Doctor, why would there be two separate certification sheets for a patient? My understanding is that the hospital bylaws require a separate certification for each instance that a medical records, that medical records are sought. Yeah, because for the binary or the bind over, they needed her medical records, and for her trial, they needed it. Okay. Since these were sought on two separate dates, two separate sheets will be provided. Doctor, the last page that you have, I believe, is page 47. Do you see where I'm looking? I do. If you could read for the record where it states consults by Kosher Matthew, what is the date and the time this note is created in the medical record? It appears to be August 15th, 2022 at 2:15 p.m. I'm going to have you read starting with, do you see where it says patient stated she would be interested? That's the second line all the way to the right. I see that. Can you please read it? Can you read it into the record? Patient stated she would be interested to it. Oh boy, we knew it. Patient stated she would be interested to attempt coloring and then declined due to focus on her grief. Patient then became tearful, processing heavy loss and depression since the accident. Patient shared feelings of grief, guilt, and shame. Patient stated she wanted to die and it was her fault for killing her boyfriend. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Are those records fair and accurate depictions of the records that you have reviewed pertaining to Mackenzie Shirilla for this case? Yes, I believe these medical records represent our best effort to be accurate as to what happened and the things we did to treat this patient. Doctor, just to make it clear for the court, prior to Mackenzie Shirilla entering the trauma bay that day, you don't have any firsthand knowledge of what happened to her prior to entering? I do not. One moment, please. Nothing further. Cross-examination. Okay. Before we go into our cross-examination, welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you're on the replay crew, we love you too. I'd like to thank the crew at Conair for everyone keeping us in the friendly skies. And if you're here and you haven't told us where you're from, let us know and I'll put it on our map. I have to literally mentally prepare to do this cross-exam, to even just read it. Mackenzie Shirilla is a 17-year-old. We are reading the court transcripts of her trial that she was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole in 15 years. In my opinion, her defense attorney is a male version of her, rude, and he has no integrity or morals. And that's my opinion. And if anyone wants to talk about the roles of a defense attorney or a prosecutor, I'd be more than happy to. I completely understand the judicial system. I personally don't think you have to be rude, though, no matter what your job is, whether you're the court reporter or your defense attorney or the prosecutor or the judge. You don't have to be rude. So if you notice a high school, like a fake accent for a little high school girl for this man, just know that it's because he's earned it. Most of the time, it's because he's being rude. So we'll start. Okay, the cross-examination of the doctor by Mr. McDonald. Doctor, my name is Jim McDonald, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And if you don't understand the question, ask me to repeat it or rephrase it. Is that fair enough? Yeah, that's fine. All right. You don't have any independent recollection of your treatment of Mackenzie Shirilla. Is that correct? He learned this in the bind-over hearing. I do not. Okay. Wait, she said I do not. Okay. So this is just basically a reviewing of those records and telling us what the records say. Yep, that's correct. Some of the things in the records you didn't have any part in playing. Is that correct? There are many things in these records that I don't enter myself. I'm a trauma surgeon. Okay, and you just said and read that Mackenzie said it was her fault. Is that correct? Yes, I did read those words. That's what it says. It didn't say she purposely killed anyone, did she? Or did it? No, those words do not appear in that note. And whatever those words were, you weren't there to hear them, were you? That's correct. Do you know the name of the person who made those notes? It is listed as Matthew Koshar, and Matthew's like, oh God, please don't call me, who was her heart therapist. You do not know him? Well, that's correct. I don't know him personally. We've previously talked. You talked about a blood ox. Hers was 98. That's correct. The normal range is 98 to 100. I would actually expect a 99 to 100. Okay, 99 to 100. Okay. What would you think about a blood ox of 82? Well, that's abnormally low. Pardon? That would be abnormally low. You just said 99 to 100 is normal, right? That's correct. Wouldn't 82 be abnormal for sure? There are some patients who have pre-existing medical conditions that might render an oxygen level of 82, and that's normal for them, but not most, correct? I would not expect 82 to be normal for most individuals. So if someone had a blood ox of 82, what would that indicate to you? Well, that would suggest that the level of oxygen in their bloodstream is abnormally low. What would the effects of that be upon someone? Well, abnormally low levels of oxygen in someone's blood would likely have a negative effect upon virtually all of the tissues in the patient's body. And being a doctor, you're familiar with POTS, correct? Yeah, I'm familiar with POTS. Familiar, right? I'm not an expert. What are some of the effects that someone would suffer if they had the condition of POTS? Well, my understanding from the review of the literature is that patients with POTS may experience unusual high heart rates, and they may also experience a number of neurological symptoms such as dizziness or headache. Okay, I've been listened to Samantha, I Don't Belong Here. She's on YouTube, and I can't believe I didn't put she also thinks, and I agree with her. So she thinks, and I agree, that Mackenzie actually has the side effects of an ED, and all of her symptoms are similar to an ED. So I don't know why I felt like I wanted to tell you that. Okay, sorry, let's get back to, I just want to reread this one part. Okay, this is the doctor. My understanding from the review of the literature is that patients with POTS may experience unusual high heart rates and may also experience a number of neurological symptoms such as dizziness or headache. Or what? A headache. Would they lose consciousness? Well, I'm not sure about that. She's not an expert in POTS. Camille, this is a little bit early to start getting Camille ready. If he asks it one more time, we're going to be on the scope this. I'm not actually sure about that. I would hesitate to assert one way or another in front of this court. Are the only effects that you are aware of with someone who suffers from POTS? Are those the only effects that you are aware of from someone who suffers from POTS? What is going on with this? Well, I listed dizziness. Okay, wait. Okay, no, my understanding is that there could be many other symptoms. Okay, if you could just list those, I'd appreciate it. She's not a POTS expert. Get ready. Well, I did list dizziness, yes. And a headache, yes. An abnormally high heart rate, yes. Okay, wait. I'm sorry, you guys. This is jumping all around. Okay. So we had an abnormally high heart rate. And then, okay, so she's not an expert in POTS. So she doesn't want to testify. Understandable. Okay. Are those the only effects that you're aware of from someone who suffers from POTS? No, my understanding is that they could There could be many other symptoms. Okay, if you could list those, I'd appreciate it. Objection, beyond the scope. Camille. Man, Camille's going to get a workout, I have a feeling.
Hearsay. This is outside the scope of cross-examinations. Objection, lack of foundation. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Okay, well, I listed dizziness. Yes. And headache. Yes. And abnormal. Why is this jumping all over the place? An abnormally high heart rate? Yeah. Oh, wait. And she listed an abnormally high heart rate? Yes. And I'm not an expert. Hey, I would hesitate to continue. Well, you testified that Mackenzie didn't remember the event. That's what was stated in the records, right? Well, the records indicated that the patient said she did not recall what happened. Well, if someone was involved in a severe motor vehicle crash, that's not unusual for the person to not remember the events leading up to the actual crash. It's not unusual for patients to tell us that, yeah. And that happens quite frequently, right? Well, it's not unusual for patients to tell us that. So you wouldn't find it unusual that somebody would say, I don't remember. I would not find that unusual. Okay, so this crash occurred at This crash occurred at 5:36 a.m. and you saw the patient at 7:44, I think. That's what the medical records say. That's a little bit more than 2 hours, right? Yeah. If someone had suffered a seizure, they could have recovered within 2 hours. Is that right? Yeah, I guess that's possible. Okay, if someone had a mini stroke within 2 hours, they'd be normal again, right? I guess that's possible. No further questions, Your Honor. Is there a redirect? Nothing based on that. Thanks. The witness was excused. State, who's your next witness? The state of Ohio is about to bring Michelle Ruminski. Hi, Michelle. Come on down. Michelle's getting sworn in. And Mr. Troop is about to do the direct examination of Michelle Ruminski. Good morning. Okay, will you please state your name? We're going to pass this. We'll see what she does for what qualifies her or why she's here. Okay. Is this all redacted? Please hold on. Oh, darn. Okay. I'm refreshing it because I thought it was, oh, good. Maybe now it'll stop sticking. Okay. Oh, I do have this sheet. I will grab it for us. This is we call it a DMV. In New Hampshire, they call it a BMV. So we do have this, though. Here you go, Mackenzie. Come on down. Okay. All right. Michelle, where are you employed? At the Department of Public Safety in the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Investigation Section. What are your duties in your current job? I'm a BMV investigator. So I investigate title fraud, identity theft, dealership violations, things like that, and I assist law enforcement agencies. In your capacity as an investigator, do you have access to the motor vehicle records stored on do you have access to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles stored records? Yes. Would you have access to records involving applications for a driver's license? I do. Did there come a point where investigators from Strongsville Police Department asked you to locate some records for them? Yes. Can you please tell us about that? I was requested to access records, which I am entitled to do so. I accessed records and certified them for the Strongsville officer and dropped them off. Okay, would you recognize the records that you provided to the Strongsville police if you saw them in court? Yes. Come on down. Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Yes. These are exhibits 51 through 54. Will you take a look at them, please? And once you have examined them, let me know if you recognize them. Yeah, yes, I do recognize them. Thank you. Turning first to the document listed as Exhibit 51. What's that? This is an application for an identity card. Okay. Let's find our application for an identity card. We are looking for, okay, that's a driver's license. We have the driver's license, I think. We don't have the identity card. Well, I'll share it with you and you guys can figure, like, we can look at that together while I read. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Let's see what Michelle wants to tell us. All right. Is that an application for an identification card? Yes, it is. Okay. What is on the first page of Exhibit 51? The first page is my certification. Oh, this isn't the right one. Okay, we'll come back to court and then we'll check that out when we're there. Okay. Is that the document? Yes, okay. Okay, so the first page is the certification. What is on page 2 of Exhibit 51? This is the application for identification card. This is the official record kept in the BMV database, BMV 2002. Does that bear? Oh, wait. Do you have to get an identification card before you get a birth certificate? Well, I guess we're going to figure it out. Does it? I haven't had kids. Does it bear the name of the person who made the application? Yes. Who's the name of that person? Mackenzie Shirilla. Okay, maybe they have the wrong year because 02 is the year she was born, I thought, not 2022. Okay, so let's see. Does that list the application when the application was made? Yeah, okay, they had the wrong year up here. Right here, it says, or it could have been me. Yeah, see 02. That's why. Okay, so this is just an error. Like it could be just a typo or something. But anyway, we're back to 2019. Okay, what's the date? The ID issue date was September 18th of 2019. Does it bear the signature of the person the license was issued to? The applicant's signature is to the far left. Are there additional names on this exhibit besides that of the applicant? There's a cosigner signature. And who is that? The name recorded is listed as Natalie Shannon Shirilla. Turning to Exhibit 52, what is this? This is a, oh, we have these, we have this. This is a records request. Oh, this is Michelle. Oh, so we do have this. I apologize, you guys. Oh, here it is. There's Mackenzie's signature. I mean, oh, okay, cool. All right, so we had that. The application for a temporary permit. Was there a permit issued? The temporary permit ID number is BC 216314. You know what that looks like? Auschwitz right there. What date was the permit issued? ID date is October 7th, 2020. Was it signed by the applicant? Applicant's signature is on the far left. Oh, it's so it's right here. Okay. And who is the applicant? Mackenzie Shirilla. Is it also signed by the cosigner? There is a cosigner by the name of Natalie Shirilla. I remember seeing Natalie's name somewhere in here. There's Michelle, records request, and I think this is the one that was signed by Natalie. Natalie. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, and then the defense is going to call her up. Oh, she's already. Well, right at this exact moment with these court documents, this doesn't look nefarious as of this second. I feel like it's about to, though. And the cosigner was Natalie, her mom. There are on this exhibit additional information. What is the information contained in the body of this exhibit? Oh, organ donor stuff. Do you want me to read all of this? Instead of reading it, I wonder if you could tell us specifically what this information is for. These are status questions. So the person who has issued the permit has to attest to these things before a permit is issued to them. Is that correct? Yeah, so the signature is the signature verifies. This is basically kept in a normal course of business that the signature attests to these questions. Okay, what did she attest to on this exhibit? So please review carefully for, okay, where does it say? Please review carefully. All right, let's see here. Please review carefully. We'll get to that. For the restrictions of your temporary instruction permit identification card as outlined in the digest of motor vehicle law. Autonomical donor. Okay, yep. Okay, let's go back to that. I want to read what she's going to do. Okay, so upon my death, I make the gift of my organs, tissues, and eyes for any purpose authorized by the law. I do have a current driver's license or an ID card. Number is redacted. Okay. What else is she about to? Okay. I do not have driving privileges that are suspended, revoked, or canceled, or otherwise disqualified. Okay, it looks like she's reading all of these. I acknowledge that any other driver's license or ID card held in another state is subject to cancellation. I do not have, this is, I think, way more intense than the one in New Hampshire. I do not have driving privilege. Okay, I do not have driving privileges now suspended or revoked or canceled or otherwise disqualified or subject to an out-of-service order in this state or any other state. I do not have a pending citation for a violation of any motor vehicle law or ordinance in this or any other state. I do not have pending citation. Okay, we just read that. I do not, this is the part, this is all they wanted her to read right here. I do not have a condition that results in episodic impairment of consciousness or loss of muscular control. I do not have physical or mental condition that prevents me from exercising reasonable and ordinary control of a motor vehicle. I am not chemically dependent on alcohol or drugs of abuse or currently using alcohol or drugs. Warning, applicant giving false information is subject to prosecution ORC section 2921.13. Application information and signature are captured electronically. Oh, Mackenzie just sealed her fate. Okay. I don't have a condition. We just read this. Okay. I am not. Okay. And then there's also a warning there. Yes, there is. What did the warning say? Warning. An applicant. Okay. We just read this. The driver's like, okay, so we had just read that. So I fast forwarded that part. I will ask you to turn to the next exhibit, which is the state's exhibit 53. Can you please identify it? The record requests certification. Okay. State of Ohio, Franklin. Wait, why are we in Franklin County? I thought we were in Cuyahoga County. Maybe that's just where the jail is. Okay, this is the records request certification. What is on page 2? The application for a driver's license. And what is the issue date on that application? The application for a driver's license. The date, is October 21st of 2022. Ooh, girl. Oh, October. Oh, here it is. I just keep reading. October 21st, 2022. Who's the person the license was issued to? Mackenzie Shirilla. Is that signed by Mackenzie Shirilla? Yes, the applicant's signature is captured on the left. Oh, Mackenzie. Tis. Oh, and there is her mom. And it's October. That's what the point is. Ooh. Okay. Does this exhibit contain... All right, hold on. Okay, Mackenzie. The applicant's signature is on the left. Does this exhibit contain the same attestations as the previous one? I could read them. Please don't. No, I would just like you to read specific ones, the third, the fourth, and the fifth ones. I do not have a pending citation for a violation of a motor vehicle law or ordinance in the state or any other. Oh, at this time she might not have, though, in her defense. I don't think she wasn't arrested until November. So in October, she didn't have a citation out, I think. I mean, apparently, we'll probably learn. But in her defense, I don't think that she had, pending citation. Perhaps, I don't know if she knew that she had a pending. Who knows? Anyway, for a violation of a motor vehicle law or ordinance in the state or any other. I do not have a condition that would result in episodic impairment of consciousness or loss of muscular control. Would you like me to continue? Just on to the next one, please. I do not have a physical or mental condition that prevents me from exercising reasonable and ordinary control of a motor vehicle. May I interrupt you for a moment? We had a spectator come in. Oh, this is the judge. Can you make sure your phone is turned off, please? State's Exhibit 54. What is that? That's a records request certification. Okay. Records request certification. Okay, let's see. Before I start reading all this, let's see what she wants to tell us, and then we'll. Okay. And then the second page is an application for a driver's license. Who is the applicant? Mackenzie Shirilla. Okay. So the second page, ideal. Oh, yep. Okay, we're on it. We're on it. Keep going, troop. Okay. And what was the date of this driver's license was issued? April 22nd. Okay. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Okay. Oh, here we go. April 22nd of 2021. Does this have the same did she have to swear under oath, under the penalty of perjury, the same things? Do you want me to read the same questions? Oh, you don't need to read them. Please just answer if they're the same or not. Yeah, they're the same. Does it have the same attestations? Do you want, oh my God. She just asked it again. Okay. Do you want me to read them? No. Okay, wait. Yes, I just need you to answer if they're the same. Yes, they are. Is it your testimony that these records are kept in the ordinary course of business with the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles? Yes. Thank you. I have no further questions. Cross. One moment, Your Honor. Oh, yay. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Con Air, everyone. I'm so excited you're flying these friendly skies with us. Thank you for being extra kind and extra courteous to our crew. Michelle's on the stand. Debbie and Jamie and Phil didn't change his permissions yet. And Bobby, he is our emotional support friend and the mechanic who keeps things running. If you have any questions, let us know. There are only 2 rules to be in chat. And number 1, don't be a dick. Number 2, act like you're in English Lit, not on Facebook. You know, we're not white trash. We act like adults. That's it. So, and if you don't agree, that's no problem at all, as long as you're respectful of each other. I literally feel like I'm reading one of those things that the stewardess do on the way to the flight. Anyway, thanks for flying with us. Your captain will resume. I need a break in between each cross because sometimes, okay, anyway. The cross-examination of Michelle Rumininsky. Hi, my name is Jim McDonald, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions. If at any time you don't understand the question, ask me to repeat or rephrase it. Fair enough? Yeah, fine. You need a driver's license. Yes, sure. You need a driver's license to drive, right? Well, she didn't have it on her that night because it was Dominic's house, and she kept trying to go over to Dom's house. One of the reasons was she needed her license. Okay, you need a driver's license. You need a driver's license to drive, right? Yes. And you could even be driving and have a driver's license and not have it on you and be charged with the crime of failure to display, right? Well, first of all, Mackenzie was not charged with failure to display, and we know that she didn't have it on her that night. But again, that's outside the scope. I'm not in law enforcement. Oh, no, you're not. But in addition to driving, you need a driver's license for a lot of other things, right? Yeah, that's required. I'm saying that other than driving. Like, I voted yesterday. I needed it to vote, right? Yeah, or a state of Ohio ID or a birth certificate. I mean, a passport. One of the two, right? I don't work at the polls. Oh, that was smart. I like her. She is not playing. There are a lot of places you want to work. A lot of places you'd want to work would require you to have a driver's license, right? They might, but I'm not employed there. Do you go to a bank? If you go to a bank, they ask you for 2 sets of ID. What kind of bank are you going to? And how much are you trying to take out or deposit? I've never been to, well, anyway, when they ask you for 2 sets of ID, driver's license is one of them, right? I don't know. You go to the bank, don't you? I'm here to testify to the record. Oh my God. Snap. Girl, she is snapping. I feel like we need a Detective Hazoo to tell us why we're all here.
Detective Hazoo. I'm Detective Hazoo. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash. You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2.
And she needs a drum roll. Oh, so he snapped right back at her. I'm here to testify to the record. Actually, you're here to answer my questions. Fine. When you go to the bank, you need a driver's license. Just say you don't know. Beyond the scope. She doesn't. I would almost say that she could be a hostile witness. I wonder if they're going to put her as a hostile witness. Okay, when you go to the bank, you need a driver's license. Okay. She's like, fine. Do you agree? Nope. I need a form. Oh, wait, she's saying I need a form of identification. Usually 2 at the bank, right? And if anyone doesn't appreciate him or my voice for him, I am so sorry, but I am not going to stop because he is insufferable. But actually, he's not being rude. He's just, anyway. Well, I go to the, and she's like, I don't go to a bank. I go to the ATM. I mean, the bottom line is you need a driver's license for a lot of things besides just driving. And the judge has to jump in because our friend is not jumping in to save her.
Hearsay. This is outside the scope of cross-examinations. Objection, lack of foundation. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
So the judge jumps in, like, if you don't know, just tell him you don't know. I don't know. Mr. McDowell, no further questions. Okay, good. Is there a redirect? No, not based on that. The witness has been excused, and we're going to take a short break. Okay, a recess was taken. Who's up next? Okay, let's take a break for ourselves too. Actually, I'm going to come visit you guys, and I need to, run to the restroom. Hello, my friends. Welcome. Thanks for flying Con Air with us tonight. We are on day 3. Oh, thanks, Paula. Hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited. We are on day 3, witness number 3 of the Mackenzie Shirilla court trial. This was not televised, so that's the only reason we're doing it old school. I'm so glad you're all here, and I can't wait to say hello. And guess what? Yours truly does need to use the restroom. Oh, good. I'm so glad you don't mind someone in the comments. Hi, welcome. If this is you, claim your fame. Was like, it's so annoying how you impersonate them. And I was like, really? That I think was when we were reading 90,000 text messages. I was like, okay, sorry. Anyway, woohoo! All right, what's up? Hi, everyone. Kate is great at voices. Oh, thanks, homie. I appreciate you. Hi, Debbie. Thank you. Hi, Paula. Hi, Wooly. Hi, Phil. I was looking at her text to Dom again earlier. Did it just piss you right the F off? She would, yeah, it was so suffocating. It was hard to read those. Remember the day, I don't know if our friend is in here. I needed someone to like, not just throw me a life jacket, but like an entire boat. I couldn't do it. I was like, this is insufferable. Also, vacate. That's what I've gathered. A lot of people with POTS wear compression socks. Oh, we have a friend in here who has 3 children with POTS, and she herself has POTS. I don't know if she's in here, but if she is. Okay. I don't know if they did a psych eval. I think I don't know, actually. I remember hearing that testimony was in the bind over about the art teacher. Hey, cowboy. Oh, the cowboy. He's our friend. He actually works with training at Conair. U.S. Marshal, anyone? Well, really, technically, with all due respect, cowboy, he is a retired state penitentiary sergeant. He's our friend. I tried to call him up on the first day when I found out we had someone who actually knew what Conair was. Conair was invented on the fly when we were trying to read basic police reports. It's a long story. You'd have to be there. Hi. Oh, Sammy. Thank you. Boo. Thank you. I love you. You just bought me some caffeine. Thank you, Sammy. Okay, Debbie. Cowboy. Howdy. We are all terrific. Yay. Oh, you guys are the best. I am so grateful for you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I am going to, you know what we should do? Oh, I was going to make you guys a video of all of the new swag. Maybe I'll leave it on the swag. We have a lot of fun things that were all inspired by you. Oh, wait, I have to get out of the way. I'll leave it on here. This is the Etsy store, my Etsy store. It's the first link in this, but we have a pharmaceutical sales rep t-shirt in men's and women's. Oh, wait, this isn't the right page. You guys don't need to see the back end of it. Please hold. I'll get you out of there. Hold on. You don't need to see the back end. That's boring. I'll show you the front end. Here we go. All right. Now I'm out of the way. Okay. It's True Crime Tarot Shop on Etsy. I started it a couple months ago. Anyway, we have a pharmaceutical sales rep. Whoever thought of that, genius. That's what outside sales is. Our friend has outside sales job. Oh, there you guys go. Conair, we did learn today, our friend Debbie and I learned that oh man, I am not a hunter either. I think this was the duck camo. If anyone actually knows anything about camo, feel free to jump in. I think this is the duck one, and that's the black one, or maybe the deer one. This is a Bet sweatshirt, men and women. I'm hella pleased, Your Honor. Water bottle. What the fuck? Stickers, t-shirts, a glass, Bet t-shirt, some more Conair. How do you spell eventually? Conair sweatshirt, Bet in different styles. We have Bet on a light t-shirt, Bet on a dark t-shirt, and Bet like a little girly. We have the Conair Flight Crew stickers. Oh, we have the dark and the light Bet sweatshirts. And we have a Bet sticker. That's a girly version. We have the how do you spell eventually? The Conair, what is this one? I think this is, a boarding pass. Oh, that was a boarding pass to Conair. Welcome to the team. Conair Flight Crew, sticker, mug, t-shirts, hat. I'm hella pleased, Your Honor. Stickers and a mug. So, if anyone would like to get their Conair swag, this was a labor of love by everyone involved. And every time we think of something hilarious, we throw it on a t-shirt. I actually think this one is hilarious. The what? Because she says it all the time. So I'll leave you guys with that. It's the first link in this description. If anyone's interested in Conair swag. And Bobby, if you're in here, I love you. Hi. I did not forget that you asked me. I'll have to type it out. But I think it confused my ChatGPT for a few questions. I saw someone, right, Wooly. It's kind of crazy. Hi, everyone. Legally, I saw your comment about watching the notifications for the families. I have not watched them at all. I have zero interest because like that kind of pain is not, if you've been through it, I have been unfortunately on that side of it. And I just like don't need to go back there. So I understand. We try not to do triggers over here. And I love Rotten Mango. Love her very much. Anyway, I've already explained it. Okay. Oh wait, Cheryl, I wished Elizabeth. Oh, we were going to do birthdays. Happy birthday, Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl with an S is here. Hi, Cheryl with an S. Hi, Phil. Hi, Legally. Hi, Amy Carey. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Debbie. Oh, the bankruptcy is so minor in the 300 police records that we have from 2020. No, I think it starts in 16 for the Shirillas. I literally think there are 300 police reports. I would recommend, or I would say we'll look through them, but we're just trying to like stay in the friendly skies. Happy birthday, Cheryl with an S. Love you. R.I.P. Ivy. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Vacay, hey. All right. I'm going to take another sip and we're going back in. Oh, I'm going to grab our crash reports. Okay. Please hold, actually. I'm going to keep talking to you guys. I'll put the swag back up. Thanks for the inspiration, team. There we go. Oh, I want to change the background because I like it a little darker. There we go. Okay. While I'm looking for the, you guys get to look at swag while I'm looking for Mark Sargent, I think is his name. Yeah, I'm sure he's like a crash he's a, I thought I was going to say a crash. I don't know who he is yet. Sargent. Oh, Yuri, Karen Reed. Trash. Oh, Shirilla. Let's see. We have heard Mark Sargent. Let's see what it says. Oh, he was in the bind over too. Okay. Oh, actually, one thing. Oh, darn. I have to put it on YouTube again. One thing I want to show you. I saw someone asking a question about the appellate court or the appeals court. I am so uninterested in the appeals court because she has no chance. And they missed it by a day. Like, I'm not even in law school, and I know that that's bad. Anyway, I did find, what is her name? The blonde one. I used to always talk about her. I have her all over this channel. She was in the Ohio women's prison with Mackenzie, and she's out, and she's all over. But we do have her explaining what happened with the appeals. I mean, they missed the deadline. There's not that much to say, but someone was confused. So I just thought when I saw this, I was like, oh, let's talk it out. Here she is. What is her name? I'm going to find. What is her name? See, then I was thinking maybe the mom, I don't think that her mom actually wants her out. I think she's trying to just like play a mom on TV. I feel like that was an intentional. I don't think that a real attorney would make that, would make that kind of mistake. Maybe they had some help or something. I don't know. Like, why would you put everything on the line? I don't know. I have suspicions about it. Okay. It's already uploaded, I think. Let's watch this really quick. This is just a quick explanation of the appellate. I mean, there's not that much to talk about. They entered it late. And so they got denied on the state level. She's going to try to go federal, which, good luck. All right. We are about to watch a really quick short explaining this appellate. Let's see here. Okay. Who's next? The state calls Mark Sargent. Okay. The state of Ohio. Okay. Mark Sargent is just sworn in and spelling his name. He is the Fire and Explosion Consultants, which was a consulting firm in Dayton, Ohio. We do mechanical Mechanical defect analysis on automobiles, as well as structural fires and vehicle fires. I'm in charge of the automotive division. What sort of duties do you perform in your jobby job? Okay. I feel like he is going to have a report. What duties do you perform in your role? My role is prominently failure analysis, vehicle investigation, as well as fire investigation pertaining to any type of defects that are present on any vehicles. Do you have any titles or license? I do. I'm an ASE certified master technician. It's eight separate categories in automotive technology. Okay, he sounds really smart. And also 5 truck technician categories for heavy duty truck and equipment. I have approximately 50 high tech. Oh, he's very human. I guess when you're in court, certifications in automotive technology for failure analysis as well as product development. I'm a certified vehicle fire investigator, a fire and explosion investigator, as well as a certified fire investigator instructor. Not so much pertaining to this case, but everything that I do with fire investigation pertains to mechanical analysis on vehicles to determine the cause of fire. Your Honor, there's been a stipulation between the parties that Mark Sargent is a certified forensic mechanic expert. Let's see. I wonder I guess we're going to figure out what his report is. And he's an expert. We asked the court to accept it. Yep, everyone's okay. Okay, true. This is the prosecution. Were you contacted last year by the Strongsville police requesting your assistance in investigating a double fatality single car crash? Yes, I was. Tell us how you got involved in this investigation. I received a call from the detective at Strongsville Police Department. Oh, what was his name? His name was
Detective Jesus.
resulting in a car impacting a building. And I was asked if I could evaluate and inspect the vehicle to determine if there are any failures with the vehicle that may have caused or contributed to this crash. Did you accept that request? Yeah, I did. That's why I'm here. I'm just kidding. And do you recall when that took place? I believe the inspection was on August 30th. I would have to double check my report, but I believe it was August 30th of 22. Where did the inspection take at? Oh yeah, I know we have these. We have this inspection. We saw this at the bindover. It was at a tow yard in Strongsville. I'm sorry, the name escapes me. That's fine. I'll accept it. Did this inspection take place on a specific day or was it over a period of time? It was on one specific day for my inspection of this vehicle. Just give us a general summary of what you do when you inspect a vehicle. Oh, you know what? Okay, I remember his report. Okay, I proceed in a more or less systematic approach. I start with the exterior of the vehicle and document and analyze the damage patterns in the vehicle. Which part has more or less damage, where the impact took place, what was the induced damage from the impact. At that point, I'll go into the subsystems of the vehicle. Oh, this is how they figured out. Oh, there's something. Okay. For example, I'll take a look at the engine and the throttle components. Something wasn't bent. That would have been bent if she had tried to brake or something. There's something really meticulous that he's going to talk about. I think, according from my memory. I don't know what's going on with our PDF, but it is jumpy. Okay, I document and analyze the damage patterns to the vehicle, which part has more or less damage, where the impact took place, and what was induced damage from the impact. Okay, at that point, I go into the subsystems. The acceleration. I go into the subsystems of the vehicle. For example, I'll look at the engine and the throttle components and the components that control acceleration, or I'll look at the steering suspension to see if something may have failed in the steering or the suspension system of the vehicle that could have caused the loss of control prior to the event. I'll inspect the brakes to make sure that the brakes are capable or were capable of function prior to the event. All in all, I'll take a look at the entire vehicle, document it, and deduce from the documentation or deduce from the examination if there's anything wrong prior to the event. Did you memorialize your findings in a report? I did. What's the name of it? Would it assist you in your testimony if you could refer to it? Yes. May I approach, Your Honor? Yes. I'm handing you what I have marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 33. Okay, hold on. We have our exhibits, but they're not listed as it State's Exhibit. So we're just going to have to go a little bit further to see what the name of this report is. Okay. When was this report? Yeah, this is the report. It was generated on September 9th. Okay, investigation of this Toyota. All right. Oh, wow. Let's see here. I'm looking at our reports to see which one he's talking about. Okay, the first steps that you took. Exterior. Okay, we have Toyota. We have like four folders on this, so we are just going to find it. Toyota service, Toyota recall. No, I remember seeing this though. What is this guy's name? I think I found it. Oh, no, that's Trooper Ross. Oh, okay, found it. Oh, no. Sorry, team. Thank you, everyone. I love you very much. Thanks for your patience. Well, the captain just gets you nice, and it's not the EDR, it's not the recall report or the service records. Oh, do we have two? Is he a state trooper? I don't remember him saying he's a state trooper. Nope, it's not EDR, right? I might. Well, you know what we do have while I'm looking for this so that you guys. We have the pictures that they took. Okay, don't worry, you haven't lost me. Oh, here's crash reconstruction. Is this the guy? I might share this one with you so that you can visualize what he's looking at. He walks around it and it's at a, oh no, but this is, yeah, this will work. Okay. Let's see here. All right, court. What is he saying? The first step I take is taking pictures of the outside of the car. Okay. Here we go. This is in the tow yard, like in the thing. I determine if there are, okay, I take pictures of the exterior and document the vehicle to determine if there are any types of patterns. As a part of the actual evaluation, I also inspect the vehicle and refer to traffic crash reports. I refer to anything that was taken, like the electrical data recording reading. Oh, like the EDR. I also review them pertinent to the components that I am looking at. As far as the electronic data recorder, I review any photographs or the scene documents that were performed and anything that I can get my hands on, basically. I'll take a look at it and review it as part of my process. Those items are contained in this section of the report I'm displaying. Can you name what the report is? That's correct. Oh, I checked for recalls. Okay, I know where this is. We have recalls. Okay, I want to verify it. I did find the repair order document for Toyota that said their repair was complete. And why was that important to you? If there's a, here, let's find, oh, well, I mean, a recall is a recall. I could probably find it right here, though. It's much more fun to follow along. Okay. Toyota recall. Why was that important for you? If there's a recall on a vehicle or a known defect with the vehicle, this could certainly hinder the operation, whether it's this particular case, but whether in this particular case it was the brake system. It could hinder the operation of the braking system. Now, this particular recall, okay, let's look at our recall. Safety recall, remedy notice. We are just reading the safety recall. Certain 2018, 2019 model year, 2018 to 2019 Camry, sudden loss of power braking assist may occur. Campaign status, remedy available, completed. 0.8 flat rate hours for most vehicles. There were parts required. Estimated parts replacement rate 100. Date of service June 16th, 2022 at Brunswick Toyota. Year done. Now, this particular recall was for a vacuum pump that offered vacuum assist. Oh, we learned this in Bind Over, to give you that cushy brake feel, so you don't have to stand on the brakes to get them to stop. Of course, the brakes would still operate if this failed. It's just the brake pedal would be harder to push. With the recall kit and the recall performed, would there be no issues with this vehicle? It would be completely functional. Oh, with the recall, okay, so they did the work and it's completely functional. Thanks. The next section of your report is titled Vehicle Examination. Oh, it is. Finally. Please hold. We found a name. Oh, I don't want to crop it. Vehicle examination. All right, let's see here. Oh, here we go. We found it. Okay. This is labeled as the Toyota vehicle examination that was just introduced in court. All right. So we're going to go back to court and then we're going to go back to that. Okay. Please take us through the vehicle examination that you conducted. All right. The first part was the exterior documentation. Okay. All right. I'm just going to read this into the, well, he'll probably read it into the record. I want to see if these have any of the pictures. He took over 200 pictures. All right, let's go back to court and see what he's going to read into the file. The first part was the exterior. We noted that I noted we had frame damage. Okay, the first part of the examination was the exterior documentation. I noted that we had frame damage. Yeah, I noted that. Oh my God, why is this so jumpy tonight? Ugh, this hasn't happened before. The captain, Bobby, I need some moonshine in the cockpit, please. Just get, well, I don't even drink, but the first part, okay, we walked around. Yeah, there was heavy frame damage. Yeah, it hit a building. And I noted we had the right side suspension, the struts, and the portions of the suspension on the right side, as well as the portions of the steering were torn away from the vehicle and separated completely. Okay, welcome. If you're just joining us, we are reading Mark Sargent's report into the, he's reading his report into the record for Mackenzie Shirilla's trial, day 3. We are reading it because it wasn't televised. And there was a jail call when Mackenzie's mother said, I'm so glad daddy pulled some strings so it wasn't on the news or something. And so we're reading it into the record. This is he's like a fire, he can tell from the damage on the vehicle if anything was broken before the impact. So he's walking us through his report. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Replay crew, I love you. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Be sure to be kind to the crew, the Con Air flight crew, and welcome. The skies have been relatively, wind is coming from the northwest, and we're going to arrive about 20 minutes early. Okay, back to this court. I just wanted to say hello to everyone. There was a significant direct impact. Yeah, you think? The right front wheel, oh my God, what is wrong with this thing? The right front reel was fractured. The tire, of course, was deflated once the wheel was fractured. The remaining three wheels on the vehicle were intact. The tires were intact and still inflated on the remainder of the vehicle. I will go through and check the tires on the vehicle to make sure they have adequate tread. Wow, that wasn't an issue. As part of the evaluation, it would not have cost. The tires were nearly brand new on this vehicle, and they had very little wear. The driver's side of the vehicle had less damage than that of the passenger side of the vehicle, and the damage was biased to the right side. The right side, when you are dealing with cars, we said this exact same thing in the bind over hearing. When you're dealing with cars is the right side. When you're dealing the rights and lefts of a car, the right side is always the passenger side, and the left side is always the driver's side. It's how you sit in the vehicle. The left side of the vehicle had less damage, less direct collision damage than the right side. It was more biased towards that area. I noted that there were some extraction damage where the door and the parts of the B pillar were cut away on the passenger side of the vehicle, potentially for extraction. I am not sure. Was the damage that you saw to that consistent with what you had seen previously in extraction removals? Yes. Okay, now on page 3 of your report. The next thing I began to evaluate was the steering and the suspension of the vehicle. Okay, we're done with you. Okay. Okay, so is there number 3? Well, what I'm looking at is just a narrative written. I don't see a number 3 though. Okay. Well, I guess he's gonna come on, Mark. Where are we? Oh, we're on page 3. Sorry, everyone. I thought he said part 3. Page 3 of 7. Okay, he's right here. He's explaining on the screen right now. If you're just listening, or you're baking, or you're folding laundry, or you're doing something else, is the report by Mark Sargent of the Strongsville Fire Department. The driver was Mackenzie Shirilla. The claim was, well, that's not a claim. Maybe it is. This is the case number that they've always enter. 22-086777. EFC file number 2210841. And it is a very thorough diagnostic report of the damage to the vehicle. The next thing, okay, so now we're on page 3. The next thing I begin to evaluate, evaluate was the steering and the suspension of the vehicle. This vehicle is equipped with what they call a rack and pinion steering. The rack housing, okay, we'll go back to court so you guys can read what I'm reading if you feel like it. The rack housing, which is part of the steering gear, was fractured in several areas. It's an aluminum housing. Oh my God. I might have to refresh. Maybe it's just a refresh on this. I'm refreshing the court documents because they are jumpy all over the place. Usually I can just hit the down arrow. All right. Okay, we saw this. Okay, the rack housing, which is part of the steering gear, was fractured in several areas. It's an aluminum housing. The fracture racks were all examined. They were impact-induced fractures. They were load fractures as a result of the forces that were applied. Oh, yes, remember this from the bind over? The forces. Yep. That were applied to the components of the collision event. I also noted that the right side suspension, again, was torn away from the vehicle, and a portion of the suspension that controls the tie rod, which is called the steering knuckle, was also fractured away. This is a steel component approximately 3/4 of an inch thick that was fractured away. The tie rod was pulled out, and that controls the steering, Your Honor. It's connected to the rack and the pinion. As you turn your steering wheel to the left and the right, the tie rod is connected to it's connected to the wheel, turning it right and left through various components. I noted the strut assembly was damaged as well as the wheels that I have previously described. the driver's and the passenger side wheel. The next section is the steering and suspension components from the passenger side. Oh, wait, that was Troop. Sorry. The next section is this is Troop, the prosecutor, is the steering and suspension components from the passenger side. And the answer is the passenger side of the vehicle sustained significant damage. There's where the strut tower and the strut and the portions of the suspension were completely torn away. The brake hose was torn from the impact load. This was also found, by the way, on the driver's side, but we can get into that a little bit later. Oh, wait, you guys, is this the kid that reminds me of the Crash Daddies in the Karen Reed case? He's like really excited about this. I can't remember if this is the Crash Daddy. Okay, that was from the impact loading events where it was actually pulled away from the force and caused to fail. Oh, wait, look at all these black magic words. You can conclude your, okay, this is the prosecution. You can conclude your section on the steering and suspension components with the last line here regarding evidence of prior impact. I'm sorry, yes. He was like getting so excited about this, like explaining it. I feel like this is the same guy or that we found in the bind over that was like the Crash Daddies. If you've seen the Karen Reed case, you know who I'm talking about. He's so funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, okay, I'm looking. There was no failure prior to the impact that was found. Okay, so in other words, everything that I found in that area was caused by the direct impact or the induced by the load force of the impact. Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at, Tim Troop. I do like Tim Troop. Sometimes, though, I wish he would use that little throat of his to object, but whatever. Thank you. The next section is the examination of the rear suspension. Yeah, the rear suspension showed much less deformity than the front. It had some induced deformity, which means that it was the forcefulness of the impact. The forcefulness? Oh, that's not. And the abrupt stop caused things to shift and move, such as the frame where the suspension components were, but there were no components separated. Everything was still intact in the rear. So I concluded that from the rear suspension, the rear suspension was capable of normal function. I didn't see any abnormal wear on the tires and another thing he said at bind over, and I haven't heard him say yet here, is that the service records were impeccable. Like they were awesome. They were always, her car was in great shape. Well, it only had like 30,000 miles when she crashed it. So the rear of the vehicle was eliminated as potentially causing any type of issue. Tim Troop. And then you reach some conclusion here at the bottom of the page. Is that correct? Yes, I did. Okay, what were those? The steering suspension system played absolutely no part in the loss of control of the vehicle. And the next area of your investigation, sir, as I began the investigation of the throttle assembly, as well as the engine compartment. The throttle assembly and the engine compartment is what they call the electronic throttle control. There's no more throttle cables or nothing between the accelerator pedal and the throttle control. Oh, this is the pink slipper with the throttle control and the engine compartment like it used to be. This is electronically driven by a computer system. The throttle body assembly, which controls the airflow for combustion, is when you push your gas pedal down. Your throttle plate opens up in the throttle body, allowing more air in so you can get more combustion. More fuel is also delivered, but that's a whole different system. And if you want, I would love to tell you about it. But the throttle body, I noticed the throttle plate was closed, as it should be if the vehicle was off. The throttle body automatically reverts to a closed position once the vehicle either stalls or shuts itself off. So I noted that that was in proper position. I didn't find any type of corrosion in any of the connectors. I didn't find any obvious implements that were forced into the throttle body that would have caused it to remain open for some reason. So the throttle was considered normal. Alrighty, moving on to the next section. We talked about the pedal misapplication. Pedal misapplication is a phenomenon when someone is stepping on the gas and thinks that they are stepping on the brake, or they're stepping on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. Now, the most common one is two applications, the pedal stepping on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. The vehicle is lunged forward and certainly won't reach those types of speeds. But what happened in the past 10 to 15 years since the Toyota recall for the throttle problems, Toyota has built a fail-safe. Remember, this is why they have so many registrations for the crash. It had like 11 or something. Toyota has built a fail-safe system. That's when the vehicle will go into what they call limp mode. That's the brake override system. So when the accelerator and the brake are applied at the same time, if that were the case with the pedal misapplication, if both were applied at the same time, the accelerator would automatically go limp mode and not have any force. That's called the brake override. Okay. The accelerator pedal also has two separate sensors within the sensor body. It's an electronic sensor. When you're stepping on it through human interaction, two sensors have to read the same reading. If they don't, the vehicle automatically goes into limp mode. If there's a malfunction with that accelerator pedal sensor, the vehicle will go into limp mode automatically. It won't fail to wide open throttle. That's a failsafe built into the system. Okay, I feel like even Tim Troop is like, I'm in over my head. When on page 5, you continue with your investigation of the accelerator pedal on this Toyota. Yeah, I examined the accelerator pedal and the accelerator linkage. This, of course, is in the occupant compartment of the vehicle. The accelerator pedal itself is a plastic pedal that's hooked into the steel linkage behind it. It's a steel rod. This goes up to the accelerator sensor and the accelerator application sensor. The pedal and the sensor were disassociated from one another, as in they were separated. And that's a result of all the damage to the floor, the warping of the floor, the induced damage to the undercarriage of the vehicle. Everything was twisted and moved around. So the examination of the actual linkage itself and the sensor itself was performed. Now, that was still fully capable of function. There was no bonding. I could move the accelerator linkage up and down at a full sweep, just like you would in the vehicle from off throttle all the way to 100. Oh, that's kind of eerie. I found that the vehicle's body components were partially buckled over. Oh, he's explaining why her slipper was stuck in that picture. Like if in case the defense is about to argue that the pedal, whatever, we'll get there. Okay, I found that the vehicle's body components were partially buckled over the accelerator pedal and the actual plastic portion of the pedal we would step on. This was relatively important due to the fact that there was a slipper originally found within the vehicle by one of the police officers. That slipper was trapped underneath that rolled over component. So now we know a couple of things. One, the defendant's foot was on the accelerator when this rolling effect was caused. When the damage to the framing and the damage to the sheet metal was caused, it caused it to roll into the slipper and hold it there in place. And we also know at that point also from looking at the photographs and looking at the deformity of the sheet metal, the slipper wouldn't have been wedged, causing any type of damage prior to the impact or caused an unintended acceleration prior to impact. Thank you. Moving next in your investigation of the throttle rod. The throttle rod assembly, which is part of the accelerator, was capable of full sweep up and down. I was able to apply the accelerator and release it several times, and it worked normally, just as intended by the manufacturer. There was no binding or sticking, nothing that would give indication of unwanted acceleration. You also videotaped that, is that correct, sir? Yes. You inspected the brake system? Yes. Tell us about the brakes. Well, the brake pads on the vehicle were worn. There was about 1 or 2 millimeters of brake line remaining. Worn brake lines don't cause a no brake situation. Worn brake lines is a maintenance related issue. You do have to do a brake job on the vehicle. It's a maintenance item, but the brakes themselves don't show any evidence of overheating. They were all wearing normally. I didn't see any indication of brakes overheating in the brake rotors or discoloration on the brake pads, like they had been applied for a long period of time trying to stop a vehicle. All indications were that the brakes were capable of function. The master cylinder reservoir was also examined. The reservoir was still half full of fluid. Now, this is important here because had there been a brake leak in the hydraulic system, such as a hose, we would have 2 hoses that are actually torn as a result of the impact. If there's a brake fluid leak in the hydraulic system, that would have caused the loss of brakes. The reservoir would have been empty or nearly empty or drained. In this particular case, it wasn't. It was still half full. So I knew there was plenty of fluid for proper operation of the brake system. What about the rear brake system? Again, they were worn to about 1 or 2 millimeters, the brake lines. It was in need of a brake job, rotating the rear tires, which was possible, front tires, front wheels, not so much. Rear wheels, it's possible, but I noted the sequel sensors, which are the sensors that emit the high-pitched squeal. Oh, sorry, squeal sensors. I noted the squeal sensors, which are the sensors that emit the high-pitched squeal. You might hear them on the road at times, indicating that your brakes are worn and they're in need of replacement. I heard the squeal sensors activate by simply turning the wheel. That's a warning to the driver that you need brakes. No brake fluid leaks were noted. All brake lines were in proper position. The brake hoses were properly attached. I didn't find any evidence of overheating in the brakes because they weren't applied. I didn't find any evidence of a sudden loss of brake control. Okay, you previously testified about the brake lines. Here in your report, you detail your examination of the brake lines. Yes, that's correct. The brake lines, the two front brake hoses that are attached between the brake caliper and the steel brake lines, were torn. They were ripped out. They were torn in two. This is a result of the impact. Of the impact forces. I don't really like this purple. Okay. You talked about the recall in the next section of the report. Yep. As I previously described, the recall was done. It was completed in this vehicle by the Toyota dealership. Again, if this recall failure would have taken place, it would have resulted in a hard brake pedal. It wouldn't have resulted in a complete loss of the brakes. It would have resulted in a hard brake pedal feel. You testified that you reviewed records regarding the recall on this particular Toyota. Is that correct? I did. And the recall was performed. Yes? Wait. I did. And the recall was performed. Would you recognize the recall documentation if you were to see it here in court? Oh, yes, we would. We just saw it. Yes. Your Honor, may I approach the witness? State's Exhibit 801. Wait, I think it's State Exhibit 802. Okay, please take a look at this, sir, and tell me if you recognize this exhibit. This is basically in the instructions, so to speak, for the recall. Okay, we just looked at that. Okay, this is the instructions for the recall. And we just read this out loud. Let's see what else this wants to tell us. Oh, this is a long one. All right. Oh, whoa. Okay. If you are just joining us, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We are looking at Mark Sargent's report of the Toyota that Mackenzie Shirilla was driving straight into a concrete wall. Okay, these are the instructions. He just said all this. And then, these are just like the instructions. Okay, got it. All right, back to court. Okay, these are the instructions, so to speak, for the recall. How the recall is to be performed, what parts are needed, and this is the technician's copy that would be needed to be performed. All right, thanks. Based on your investigation of the Toyota, are you confident the recall had been completed? Yes, that's correct. Moving to the section of your report called opinions. Okay, we are about to go find his opinions. I don't see opinions. I see comments. Oh, it is my opinion. Okay, there we go. Okay. It is my opinion. Okay. So if you're listening, it's Mark Sargent, forensic mechanic. It is my opinion that the vehicle was free of defect at the time of this event and showed no evidence of malfunction causing or contributing to the event. Okay. So he just read that. I found there was no indication of mechanical or electrical failures in the vehicle that may have caused a loss of accelerator control, a loss of braking, or a loss of the ability to steer the vehicle. Okay, as part of your examination, did you take photographs? I did. How many photographs did you take? 271 photographs and a video. So 272. All right. Prior to your testimony, did you have the opportunity to review this disc containing the 271 photographs? I did. Your Honor, I wish to approach the witness for state's exhibits titled 500 through 771. They're all on this disc, Your Honor, and this disc is the one that the investigator reviewed prior to his testimony. Okay. I'm going to look for this. I just want to see if we have it. I feel like we might. Please hold. Your pilot is looking to see if we have these. Okay, Toyota. Let's see what we have here for Toyota reports. Here's the forensic exam. Okay, that's what we're looking at there. Forensic inspection. Oh, shoot. I don't have my phone. Let me see if it's okay. If you guys can't hear me, just let me know. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited you're here. Thanks for coming. We are just looking for the 271 pictures that Mark Sargent is bringing into court. I'm just going to open up all of this Toyota stuff. Okay, we already read that. Okay. I feel like this is something we would have in this FOIA drop. Court order. Affidavit for a court order. Metro Toyota. Okay. Toyota recall service. EDR. You haven't lost me. I'm just looking for these 200 pictures. Forensic inspection. Oh, I think I found them. Oh, don't you guys worry. I found them. Okay. So we are going to go to Toyota, and I am about to show you guys these pictures. Oh, and we even have an inspection video. Oh, so impressed with this FOIA drop and all of our friends. Thank you all for your help. Okay, I'm just uploading this video. I have no idea how long it is to YouTube, so we can watch it if they watch it in court. This is the Toyota. Okay. Thank you all for flying in the friendly skies tonight. Toyota. Okay. All right, this is quick. We are going to look at the pictures with court because it's just like we were there with Law and Order, or not Law and Order, Law and Crime, watching the trial. Okay, we are just uploading this little video that he is talking about in trial. And okay, let's see if these have all uploaded. Pretty much. All right, we can start looking at them with him. Okay, back to court. All right, the court. Okay, would you identify this as the disc? Yep, it is. Okay, thanks. States Exhibit 34 on the monopad. Do you recognize this exhibit? I'm sure he's going to say, yeah. Let's see. Yes, okay. Yes, this is when I initially saw the vehicle at the tow yard. Okay. This is the frontal view of the vehicle, demonstrating that a collision damage was more biased to the driver's side. More biased to the driver's side? Wasn't it more biased to the passenger side? All right, let's see here. So this is the picture that they are looking at. Okay. I think he means the passenger side, but anyway, that the vehicle, okay, this is the frontal view. Oh, the frontal view. I just showed you guys the side. Sorry. Let's get to the front. Wow, this guy. Whoa. I mean, I think this will work. Okay. This is when I initially saw the vehicle at the tow yard. That's a frontal view of the vehicle, demonstrating that a collision damage was more biased to the driver's side. It was also showing the separation of the right front suspension. The suspension is actually located in the front of the vehicle at this point and lying separate from the vehicle. The hood had been torn away. The engine was up against the bulkhead of the vehicle, all the way against the firewall. Induced damage to the firewall was present from the impact as well as the frame and the undercarriage of the structure. This vehicle was not located at the crash site. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. Does the location of the vehicle matter in your investigation or your ultimate conclusions? No, not at all. The components were gathered from the crash site and found in the vehicle. I didn't find that there was anything of importance missing. All components were identified and accounted for during my examination. Okay, we're showing you states 35. This is the passenger side view. Okay, we are looking at that. This is the passenger's view, okay, of the vehicle. In this photograph, you'll see a portion of the engine is actually dislodged and mounted sideways where the suspension should be. The suspension on the right side was ripped away. This was also the area where the right side front door was cut away during extraction. Exhibit 36. Prominently the same thing. We're showing the induced damage to the rear of the vehicle rather than a direct collision damage. The panel behind that rear door, can you guys see a rear door? Okay, this. The panel behind the rear door and the quarter panel show buckling. That wasn't direct collision. That was actually the collision induced from the sudden stopping of the vehicle during the event. Oh, so this buckling right here is the sudden stop. Okay. Significant collision damage to the front portion of the vehicle frame. The distortion of the floor pan to the interior of the vehicle was all documented there. Okay, this is an overhead view showing, oh, I have this one too. I don't know if it's in here, but I do have this picture. Excuse me. That is in a different place. I will find it. Oh, you know what? I have it already up. Okay. We're going to come over here to the crash reconstruction videos. And, oh, you guys, I already had this in the PDF. Sometimes my organization even amazes me. Where's this aerial? I don't remember it being in here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. All right, this is the police video of the aerial view of the car from the top at the wreck yard. Whoa. Okay. So back to court. Okay, this is the overhead view showing the position of the engine, which is supposed to be in between the two front wheels of the vehicle and the engine. All mounds were broken from impact. The impact force shows the engine and the transmission were all partially outside the vehicle and hanging on by a couple of wires and hoses. Exhibit 38. This is the view of the front suspension, where we have the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod still in place for the driver's side of the vehicle. Okay, this is a view of some of the front suspension. Okay, if I saw the front suspension, would I even know what that means? No. If there's any car guys in, oh, I think this is it. I mean, this looks like the front. I think we found it. Okay. Wow. Okay. It was still intact. Okay. This is a view of some of the front suspension where we have the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod still in place. I have no idea if any of that's in here. But if there are any car guys in here and you know what we're looking at, let me know. It was still intact and still positioned normally, only showing some signs of distortion. This was not ripped away as the other side was. Okay, Exhibit 39. That's a portion of the rack and pinion assembly showing a rack and pinion is fractured in several areas. Okay, hold on. Although the coupler between the steering wheel, okay, let's see if we have this. I honestly don't know enough about cars to even know what we're looking at, but this thing, I remember him showing, oh, well, here is a steering wheel. Oh, I think he's showing us that this is still intact. Okay, I think. I'm just going to check this other PDF and see if we have any steering wheels in that. Oh, I forgot to look at my phone. If there are any car guys. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. Oh, here's a steering wheel. All right, let's see if this, I don't know if this is what he's talking about, but we're about to learn. Okay. Exhibit 39 is a portion of the rack and pinion assembly showing the rack and pinion is fractured in several areas. Although the coupler between the steering wheel and the rack and pinion were still intact. That shows nothing failed between the steering column or the steering wheel all the way down to where it would turn the rack and the pinion. Exhibit 40. This shows the fractures on the rack and pinion damage to the suspension and steering components on the driver's side. 41. This is showing how the passenger side of the vehicle. This is what remains of the inner tie rod, which steers the vehicle. Okay. Let's see if we can find that. An inner tie rod. Maybe this is what he means. Honestly, if anyone knows anything about vehicles, let me know. An inner tie rod? No, we're talking about the steering wheel still, I think. I think this is what he's trying to explain. Okay. Oh, wait. On the vehicle's passenger side. This looks like the driver. I mean, there's nothing really left over here on the passenger side. This guy must have been on his back, on the ground. Okay. Okay. The black plastic, what they call the tie rod dust boot. This goes over the end of the rack and pinion assembly and covers it. Okay. Well, okay, got it. All right. This is a black corrugated, plastic they call the tie rod dust boot. This goes over the end of the rack and pinion assembly and covers a portion of the tie rod so dirt and debris don't get in, causing damage. Okay. Okay. A portion of the tie rod is still connected to the rack in the area. Oh, in the area, although the outer portion was broken away that connects to the nearest wheel. 42, that's a ball joint socket in the lower control arm. The ball joint stud and ball joint assembly itself were ripped out completely. Okay. Ball joint. Okay. Oh, wait. A ball joint? Well, we're going to try this one. Oh, this is the tire. Oh, I see. Okay, I have no idea if this is the right one. If there are any car guys in here, I was just guessing. Okay, that's the ball joint stud, and the ball joint itself was ripped completely out of its housing assembly. This is from the impact. You can see the distortion. It's normally a circular hole. Well, you can see a lot of distortion. This is normally a circular hole, and this hole is very oblong due to the impact force as a result of the damage during the disassociation of the component. 43. This is the brake rotor and the brake system that was in the passenger side of the vehicle. It's disassociated from the vehicle because it was ripped off. Okay, I know what he's talking about here. Well, it's the only thing that kind of looks broken off. Okay. When I was doing this photograph, this is what I was examining. The brake lines. Again, 1 or 2 millimeters were in need of replacement, but that would not have caused sudden brake loss or brake failure. The rotors in the brake pads that remained did not show any evidence of overheating. The rotor showed signs of rust due to the fact it was sitting out for a month. For a month? It was only sitting out for a week. Anyway, didn't you say he did this on August 8th? Oh, well. Okay. But there was no bluing or discoloration that was found on the rotors due to overheating the brakes. Oops. I got ahead of myself. This is the ripped brake hose that I was referring to. When the brake hose is forcibly ripped under the load, it frays the inner lining of that brake hose, just as we are seeing right here. If a brake hose was actually to fail as a result of wear and tear, it would develop a crack and the interior lining would separate. This is clearly a load-induced failure. 45. Exhibit 45 shows the view of the second portion of the brake hose that attaches to the caliper. Man, I feel like someone who knows a little bit more about cars would be a little more qualified to even be reading this. That's again on the passenger side of the vehicle. This portion of the brake hose was actually ripped out of the caliper assembly. This was held on with a bolt. So the bolt was actually ripped out of the caliper and fractured. Around the caliper, around the silver assembly, you can see portions of the fractured wheel. Exhibit 46 is the master cylinder reservoir. The fluid belt can be seen in this photograph, and that's the reason I took it. I knew that there was not a leak prior to the impact. Okay, wait. So we're going to look for something that has... Oh, this. All right, guys, we are so good. Okay, brake fluid. Oh, there's plenty. We still had a significant amount of brake fluid within the reservoir. If there was a leak, every time you pushed on your brakes, the fluid would leak out, and there would be a low brake pedal. In this case, the fluid was still at nominal level consistent with worn brakes. The brake pads, when they wear, there has to be a fluid displacement. So instead of the fluid being 100%, as the brake pads wear, the fluid level would drop. That's what's happening here. It's at a normal level, but this is showing that the brakes were in need of replacement. This is a quick check. If you looked under your hood and see my brake fluid is low, my brakes need replacement. Oh, that was nice. That's just a little tip, ladies and gentlemen. If you look under your hood and your brake fluid is low, then your brakes need to be replaced. The pads are worn. Okay, exhibit 47. This is a view of the throttle body motor. They are going way more in depth with this than they did in the bind over. Okay, this is a view of the throttle body motor that I talked about previously. This is what controls the engine RPM, or a portion of what controls the engine RPM. With the throttle plate, when the throttle plate is closed, the silver circuit with the plate in the middle is what we call the idle position. This is what would be idle when you're sitting still or the vehicle is shut off. In fact, the throttle, if it was wide open throttle or 100%, the plate would be completely wide open and we would just see a small silver plate across the opening. Exhibit 48, this is the backside of the throttle body motor. This is where the actual electronics, as well as the return spring for the electronics, are housed. Okay. Oh, this looks like it might be hosing. Whoa. Okay. I think this is what he's trying to explain. The throttle plate. Okay. Yep, we got that. Okay. Oh, this is the backside of the throttle body motor. This is where the actual electronics, as well as the return spring for the electronics, are housed. It is showing some damage from impact. I found nothing that was prior to this event, though. The throttle plate was still capable of moving, and everything was capable of functioning normally. Exhibit 49. This is a view of the brake system during my exam. Okay, I know where that one is. This looks like, okay. He is not messing around. Oh, wait. I'm guessing that's why how they would check the brake system. Well, I guess we'll find out. Again, there were no signs of bluing or discoloration for the brake rotor. We have rust, but no discoloration of overheating. There was no evidence of overheating of the brake pads. They were still in their normal color. Okay, he said this like 7 times. The pads needed to be replaced. All right, please replace your pads. Okay, you've testified at least 3 times about the brake pads, and you testified that you took a video. Oh, and we have it. You testified that you took a video of your investigation of the accelerator linkage. Would you recognize that video if I played it in court? Okay, I will show you State's Exhibit 50. All right, so will we. Hello, Conair. Thank you for flying the friendly skies. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the things. If you're on the replay crew, thanks for being here. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you haven't told us where you're from, drop it in the comments and I'll take a screenshot and make sure we put you on our map. We are about to watch State's Exhibit 50, which is a video that he took. I have never seen it, and it's only 16 seconds long. All right. So your guess is going to be as good as mine. Okay. I'm going to pause it and bring you guys over here. Oh, wait. Hold on, mister. Okay. This is the video that they're playing into the record. He might as well just say, bye-bye, you're done. Okay, do you recognize State's Exhibit 50? Yeah, this is the accelerator application sensor. This, again, is normally attached to the backside of the accelerator pedal, which is located next to it. Now, in this photograph right here in the video, you will see that what I was talking about. Now I trust you. About the rolled metal from the distortion of the bulkhead and the distortion of the centered tunnel being over the plastic of the accelerator pedal. This is where the slipper was initially found. I didn't see a picture in there. And the roll portion of the metal is holding the slipper in place. The rod, the accelerator pedal, and the accelerator application were still fully functional. As you can see, it moved completely up and down in a full path with no obstruction and no binding. As part of your analysis of the Toyota Camry, did you research specifics related to the factory? Okay. Related to the factory something. Oh, okay. Factory specific. Why is this true? The factory specifics of this car, i.e., the miles per hour, the weight of the vehicle. Yes, I did. Why don't you tell us about that? The weight of the vehicle was approximately 3,300 pounds. The vehicle is equipped with 4-cylinder fuel-injected engine. That's called an I4. That's an 8-speed automatic transmission. With regards to some of the specifics that I looked up, some had to do with speed. A maximum speed in this vehicle was rated at 129 miles per hour. That's the absolute maximum speed. That speed can be governed at the factory to a different degree depending on the calibration of the computer. The maximum speed was rated at 129. Did you also research 0 to 60? Oh, I did. 0 to 60 was approximately 7.5 seconds. What about 0 to 100? The speed from 0 to 100 is actually a half a mile of speed. Oh my gosh, her runway was a half a mile long. So we're taking a half a mile into consideration at maximum throttle for testing purposes. And 0 to 102.5 took, it was actually at 102.5. I don't remember seeing that, but I believe it. That took us 26.5 seconds. Yeah, she had an entire runway. We watched, every time we watch the drone footage, we see what a long runway she had. Okay. Okay, we saw that. Under the testing conditions, how many occupants would be in the car? Oh, this is when it's like a little guy, like the he rides horses. What are the jockey? It's like a small jockey. It's just the driver. Would there be a full tank of gas in the car? No. They're keeping the weight to an absolute minimum during testing because they want to see the maximum speed or maximum performance. Were your findings all made to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty in your field? Yes, they were. Thank you. No further questions. Cross. Oh. Oh. Take a drink of water, everyone, or moonshine, whatever you have there. We're going into the cross. All right. We've done this a couple of. Okay, this is the cross-examination of Mark Sargent by Mrs. Mackenzie. We've done this a couple of times, haven't we? Yeah, we have, sir. How are you? I'm a little tired. I understand. As part of your investigation, you also, hold on. As part of your investigation, you also reviewed the EDR or the black box. Is that correct? Yeah, certain aspects of the EDR that would have pertained to my investigation. Did you review that before today? I want to get a little bit into that. I'm sorry, beyond the scope. He's not an EDR expert. Oh my God. I'm sorry, like he's confused. What are you asking me? Did you review the EDR before you came into court today? Like last night? I don't want to catch you off guard asking you questions about that, or do you want to review it? No, that was not part of, I mean, I read it briefly, just in the areas that would have concerned me. Okay, are you an expert in reading the black box? Oh my God, where's the objection? Why is this jumping all over? Okay. Again, okay, he's like, what are you talking about? The prosecutors went with the black box. Is it Exhibit 61? Judge, can we approach for a moment? Sure. Sidebar. We're going to take another break, probably. Oh, we're going to take a break. That'll give you an opportunity to review that report. Oh my God, why didn't Trim? He's not an EDR expert. That didn't have anything to do. Oh, fine. We're taking a report. I'll see you back here at 2. I mean, we're taking a break. I'll see you back at 2. You're under oath. Don't say anything. Timmy. Well, lunch recess was taken until 2. All right. I think your captain needs to use the bathroom as well. I'm going to use the restroom as well. Okay, my friends, I'm back. Hi, friends. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. The court's going to take a quick break, and yours truly just needs to use the restroom. How's everyone doing? Hello, everyone. My autocorrect. Oh, you know what I should do while you guys we're over here? Hi, everyone. I love you. Thank you for coming, liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing all the things. I am refreshing this. I don't know why the PDF is jumping, but I will be right back. I need to use the restroom, and I'll be right back. Please hold. Okay, I'm getting tired, and it's midnight here, so we are going to plug through this last. Hopefully, sometimes the days just end abruptly over here in court, so we're just going to see where it takes us. All right, come on up here, court. I'm so glad everyone's here. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming and being here with us as we fly these friendly skies. Okay, back to court. Hi, Debbie, Jamie, Phil, and is Bobby here? And everyone else that's here, welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're on the replay crew, welcome. Please like, share, subscribe, and do all the YouTube-y things. We are on the cross-examination. We just got done with a break, literally, at the court, a break at court. And we have the cross-examination of Mrs. Mackenzie Shirilla. Somehow she found a grown man who is as rude as she is. And I understand the court system, and I get it. And his job is to defend her. His job is not to victim shame and be a complete jerk. That's my opinion, but you can do a good. Alan Jackson's not a jerk, and he has psychopaths for witnesses. All right. Cross-examination of Mark Sargent. Mr. Oh, he didn't say the whole spiel about, if you don't understand, ask me. Okay. Yeah, we had the opportunity. Okay. Oh, I'm so annoyed that no one objected to this. Why are we talking ADR with this guy? This isn't the ADR expert. He like barely read it. Mr. Sargent, you had the opportunity to review the ADR, is that correct? Yeah, as much as I could. Yeah, I directed you to a couple of pages to try to speed things up, isn't that right? Yeah, that's fine. And one area we talked about was the front passenger seat. Oh my gosh, Jamie! Wait a minute. Our friend Jamie, who is the most observant friend ever. Well, she's very observant. Wait a second. He's calling it out. We said this. Seatbelt. Hold on. I am pulling up the EDR report because our friend Jamie, who I have no idea if you're here, but if you are, welcome. If you're on the replay crew, welcome back. Jamie noticed that in this EDR report that we're about to pull up, it says that the seatbelt was engaged. And I saw someone left a comment like, maybe it was buckled so that it wouldn't beep. And that's fine. But in all the videos, and I mean, there are thousands of them with Mackenzie driving and he's there or he's driving, he always has a seatbelt on and she never does. So, I mean, yeah, maybe it was. Maybe we're going to find out right now. Toyota EDR report. Jamie, claim your fame if you're in here. If you're not, this is Jamie's claim to fame. Or at least she brought it to all of our attention. That, let me get to this, where he's talking. I'm just scrolling forward because I know some people don't like it when I do this. Maybe he'll explain it in the court. All right. Okay, seatbelts were on in the front. Yeah, he noticed it. I said that the defense should go after it. He should. I think this is a great argument. Everyone else has testified that they weren't seatbelted. Okay, where's this EDR? Where does it say seatbelts? Okay, well, 0. Okay. What was that? Track position. Okay. All right. We're going to go back to court because I don't want to jump ahead. And since he's testifying to something that he's not an expert in, oh, where's Tim Troop? Okay. I've been asked you to review a page about the car being in neutral. That's correct. Oh, he did? Wow, I'm surprised he's going after this. Good job, Mr. McDonald. All right, neutral. I don't see it on this video. Okay. Oh, I see. I think this is what he's talking about. Drive, neutral. Oh, we found it. Okay. So he's talking about right here. All right. Well, that was nice. Okay. I'll blow it up for you. If you're watching from home, welcome. I mean, if you're not watching, you're just listening. We just pulled up the EDR report that our friend Jamie noticed the seatbelt was engaged. And I think this is a great argument that the defense should bring up because everyone else has testified so far that neither of the boys had their seatbelts on. In the section that we're looking at is a section where it's showing us, and we figured this out from our last reconstruction, that Davion, I think, this is my opinion, and I think it might have come up or something, put it in neutral after Dominic pulled on the steering wheel. So right here, it's like shift, drive, it moves to neutral, back to drive, back to neutral. Oh, did he get into neutral twice? Or does it, I don't know. We're going to learn. Okay. It just annoys me that he's asking this kid who's not, this isn't his expertise. I'm surprised even the court didn't object. Okay. All right. The car was in neutral. Yes. And tell us about that. After you viewed the black box, did it say a couple of times that the car was in neutral? Can you bring it up? This isn't my area of expertise. I don't know. The court's even like, we can refresh your recollection. It's not, we can reflect your recollection by showing it to you, and you can read it without reading it out loud, and then he'll ask you some questions. Anytime, troop. Come on, buddy. Save this guy. This is what he did let this detective, our friend.
Detective Jesus.
He let Detective Jesus hang too. It's just like, oh, I want Camille.
Hearsay. This is outside the scope of cross-examinations. Objection, lack of foundation. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
All right. Okay. Oh, the witness. That would, okay. He's like, yeah, that would be wonderful. This is a large document. No, it absolutely is. I couldn't memorize it all. Good. Sir, are you asking me about a specific page? No, I'm asking, well, we reviewed that. I pointed you to the page that I made a mistake and didn't write it down. What? We talked about it at some point. The black box indicated the car was in neutral. Just for reference, if it's okay, I'm going to go to page 48. Okay. So are we? Are we on page 48? Oh my gosh. This thing is 500 pages long. Does it even have pages? This thing says it's like, wait, does this say 500 pages? Oh, sorry, 57. Okay. Whew. All right, we're going to page 48. This poor guy. Ugh. Why am I annoyed? This is fine. It's fine. Okay. So now we're on page 48. Okay. On page 48, it's under the pre-crash data, which is the 5-second clip of the pre-crash event. Yeah. The 7th prior event trigger is none. This will be table 2 of 4. Oh, I love this guy. Okay, we're on table 2 of 4. Oh, you guys. We're so good. We're on table 2 of 4. Okay. This is the table. It will give you the multiple parameters, but we're talking specifically about the shift position. That's correct. Wait, this kid is like pretty much interviewing the lawyer, this witness. The shift position shows us at one point in time, I will get you to there. I will get you we go from 4.7 seconds. Oh, right. Pre-crash. This is 2.7 seconds pre-crash. He just talks right over him. Good. The shifter was shifted from D, which is drive, to sequential. Now, sequential is one back. In other words, it's a floor-mounted shifter. You have a park, reverse, neutral, and drive. Instead of low, it's a sequential because that's when you can use the paddle shifters or a bump shift. Okay, I got it. I don't get it. But is that the shift in the middle? Well, obviously, he shifts it from drive into neutral. But is he talking about? Okay, well, I guess we'll learn. So at that point, it was shifted into sequential. From there, it was shifted 2 positions up at 2.2 seconds. Shifted 2 positions up into neutral. It then remained in neutral until 1.2 seconds pre-crash. Until what time? Until 1.2 seconds pre-crash, where it was put back in drive. That sounds like intent. Yeah, I got it. It remained in drive until 0.2 seconds pre-crash, where it was again put back into neutral. You weren't in the car, so you don't know how that was accomplished. Is that correct? Well, it had to be mechanically shifted. Like a human had to do it. No, obviously, I wasn't in the car. I don't know how it was moved. This was all pre-crash. Yeah, that's correct. So when someone used their foot, or more likely their hand, they were on the gear, moving it back and forth, up and down. Yep. We know that for sure. Well, yes, sir. Thank you. And I asked you if we could go through some distances, if we will. Would you agree at 100 miles per hour, someone goes 1.4? That's 147.6 feet per second. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. Then I asked you to calculate how 146.7. I'm sorry, Oh my God. Wait, please tell me. 100 and yay! I love this kid. This witness, Mark, he just said, so the lawyer's like talking to him about a bunch of stuff he doesn't know, but he knows he's a lot smarter than him. And he said, if someone's going 100 miles an hour, then they go 147.6 feet. Is that correct? And he's like, yeah, that's correct. And he's like, no, it's not correct. It's 146.7. Go, Mark. I'm sorry, 146.7? That's correct. When I asked you to calculate how fast it would take a car, this car, not just any car, this one car, to go from 50 to 100 miles per hour. Yes, that's correct. And you went through the mathematics? Yes, for approximation, with torque curves and everything else. This kid is much smarter than you are, Mr. McDonald. It took approximately 19 seconds. 19 seconds. How long would it take to go from 60 to 100? Approximately 17 seconds. Thank you. The black box you mentioned, 4.7. 4.76 seconds is when it was activated? No, that's not an activation. Okay. That's how much. That's when it started to record. It gave us 4.7 seconds of data. No, data. Okay. 4.7 pre-trigger. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is the kid. This is Mark. 4.7 pre-trigger on that particular data. Okay. How much time? Then there's what's been called the rollover event. Is that correct? Okay. Again, objection. Beyond my scope. This is like beyond the scope. Yeah, that's correct. I believe that's trigger number 5. Oh, is Mark Sargent up here twice for this trial? Have we already met him once? Did they talk about this in this trial? I remember him talking about it. I just don't remember where we were. Yep, that's trigger number 5. Okay. That's where the car made a hard right-hand turn of about 180 degrees. Nope, I don't believe so. But if I could look, no, take your time. Okay, trigger number 5, the car at the trigger event of trigger 5. So that would be 0 time. What? So that's when you register. Wait, I did not get any of that, but I think we're getting in the weeds. His job is to confuse the court, which is a dumb idea because she's the expert. So, okay. That's when you register. All right. So when you registered 142. This is the clock analogy we used last night. So it's going from noon, like 12 on the clock, between 5 and 6. Okay. When you registered the 142.5. Okay. That's a negative 142.5. Can you tell us how much time has elapsed from that triggering event until the actual crash? The deployment events occurred on trigger 11. So, as you're probably aware, many of these events overlap. Yeah, that's right. Only milliseconds in between. Yeah, that's correct. There are 1 or 2 milliseconds. Just to put a time frame on it, it takes 300 milliseconds to blink your eye. There are thousands of milliseconds in a second. Okay. A lot of these have overlapping events, just a few milliseconds, 20, 30 milliseconds, which is almost incomprehensible. To a layman like me, yeah. To me, when you're looking at 300 milliseconds, just to blink your eye, to put something into perspective, a lot of these are overlapping events. If you were to trigger event number 5, I'll tell you what page it is. Take your time. I need to find an old dude laughing about something. So this is still on page 49. Okay. All right, go to page 49. And what it tells you is it's 8 prior event trigger. Wait, okay. If you go to page 49, what it tells you, it's 8 prior event trigger 5. We're going to deployment command data. Oh my God, this poor guy. What a good sport. Now what it says here is pretension or deployment. Pretension is for seatbelt, right? It says, oh, this is our seatbelt, Jamie. It says pretension or deployment time to fire first seat drivers in milliseconds. 1,631 milliseconds. That means between the initial trigger event and the wake up, there's 1,631 milliseconds, so 1.6 seconds prior to deployment. It also has a side curtain deployment at that time. That was 1.6 seconds from the trigger event to deployment. And I think the question was how much time from the initial trigger event until the crash? Well, 4.5 seconds, you dummy. I'm not even any of these. He's already, that's how long the thing was on. Okay, the deployment would have taken place in about that amount of time. We're looking at about 1.7 seconds. But you never went to the scene, is that correct? No, I was at the scene. Oh, you were. Not to investigate the vehicle, but I did go to the scene as part of my investigation. So this is like 2 times this lawyer has put his foot in his mouth. Okay, keep going. Would you expect a car traveling 100 miles per hour with a sharp right turn to have a left turn tire marks? Oh, now he's not a tire expert either. I would. Oh, you would? I would expect to see some tire marks. There could be some yaw marks. Some what? Yaw marks. It's the sliding a little bit sideways with a sharp turn, like that with the amount of speed there was. Of course, the tire marks could be in the grass, but they could be, wherever this took place. Did you see any evidence of skid marks? I was there over 30 days after the crash, and I did not see. I was contacted about this approximately a month after the collision occurred. Okay, fair enough. So I didn't see any. Would you agree in a previous theory you said that the hard right could be the driver of the vehicle attempting to maintain or get control of the vehicle? Well, it certainly is one of the things it could be. Oh, yeah. Okay, right. And what else could it have been? Well, it could have been someone else pulling on the steering wheel trying to avoid the collision. Oh, did you hear that, Miss Mackenzie? Oh, okay. It could have just been the driver of the car. Yeah, it could have been the driver of the car. It could have also been, remember, this vehicle likely left the roadway at one point in time, at least once somewhat airborne. Oh, we can show you the entire path. Right. And if you look at the time frame, the millisecond time frames, when the vehicle comes back down, it's hitting hard. So all of a sudden, our steering is going to be affected by that. Okay. So 100 miles per hour, the car going sharp turn to the right could be an attempt to gain control. Is that correct? It could also be an attempt to avoid something. Is that correct? Yep. And the sharp right turn could indicate, oh, come on, even my printer or my computer printer. It could indicate that someone is thinking, I'm going to make a turn to the right. It could indicate that, yeah. I think that's kind of what you just said. That was awesome.
You're done.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Come on. Oh my God. Even my computer's like, please stop scrolling me. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's a term for when you observe something until you react. For a driver, right? I can't remember the name of that term. That's the perception reaction time. Guys, am I having deja vu? Didn't we just talk about this? How much? Oh, okay, that's a perception reaction time. How much is the time from when you perceive something until you react? Well, that varies. It could be anywhere between 0.75 and 1.9 seconds, I think. I don't know. Literally, this PDF is like, by the way. Why isn't this going? Okay. Oh my God, he's still on the stand. Why are we? Okay, we saw this. All right, we're refreshing. I don't know what is going on with this, but we're going to refresh. Thanks for flying, Conair. Welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you're on the replay crew, hello. We love you too. Thank you to the Conair flight staff for keeping us in the skies. I just had to refresh because this PDF is like really not in the mood to be read tonight or something. All right. He was just talking about the perception. He's just creating confusion. He's so, and you can say this is his job. Fine, he didn't do a very good job at it, did he? No. Okay, I think that's what you just said. Yeah, it is. So he's just this. Okay, there's a term, yeah, perception. Okay. It varied. Okay, so perception reaction time. How much is the time from when you perceive something until you react? Oh my God. It's like 0.57 seconds to 1.5 seconds. That's the value normally used. It could be less and it could be slightly more, depending on a lot of factors that play a part. Visibility, things like that. What was that term again? Visibility reaction. Perception reaction time. Okay, the darker it is, the longer it would take one to react. Yeah, except there were streetlights on the street. We saw them in the drone footage. Yeah, that's fair. As a general rule, right? You talk about pedal misapplication. Yeah, that's correct. He didn't actually talk about it. He was referring to it in the recall. Wasn't that the recall? Okay, and okay. Yeah, that's correct. And you define what it is, right? How many crashes have you investigated? Over 1,000? Over 1,000, and then he's very dramatic. I've never counted. It's well over 1,000. It's possible for someone who've been on the accelerator and think, oh my God, I'm going way too fast, and could think they're going to hit the brake and move their foot and put it right back on the gas. Is that right? Yeah, well, that's of course something that's possible in a pedal misapplication situation. Although we would normally see that on the ADR reading, we would have seen 100% zero, 100% zero. That's something that's a phenomenon. And there are two types of misapplication, as I've already explained to you, one where the brake and the gas are applied at the same time. But that doesn't apply here. That doesn't apply here because we know the gas was at 100% applied and there was no brake activation throughout this entire 5 seconds of the record. Okay, that doesn't apply here because we know the gas was 100% applied and there was no brake activation throughout the entire 5 seconds of recorded data. What we normally see is the gas pedal being depressed, as someone would think it's a brake. It's just like you said, pushing down on it and letting up and pushing down. That's normal. What we see on and off, 100% zero, 100% zero. The slipper. You would not advise anyone to drive in slippers. Is that correct? Oh my God, objection. Just like end the misery. Obviously, like that's not even what he's testifying to. Well, I don't think that's a normally good idea now. It's not safe, right? Well, it could pose some issues, slippers and sandals both. Yeah, obviously. You don't know for sure. Okay, you don't know for sure what happened with the slipper, just that it was a slipper, right? I know there was a slipper. I saw where it was wedged, and I saw the pictures of it. In those pictures that you showed us, it appeared that the gas pedal was about 2 or 3 inches wide. The gas pedal is approximately 2 inches wide. Oh, 2 inches wide. Right. And the brake is to the left. Yeah, that's correct. And much longer. No, it's a wider pedal. But the distance from the brake to the pedal is about what? Okay, so now we're talking about brakes. Like what in the... It usually ranges 2.5 inches. So pretty close by, right? I'm sorry, what are you asking me? They're next to each other. They're next to each other, pretty close by. Yeah, they're about 2.5 inches apart. Where's Tim Troop? Like, seriously, save us all. Would you agree there were bumps and it was unevenness in the road? Yep, I've driven it many times. And prior to the collision as well as after the collision. Yeah, right. I saw some bumps and unevenness, but nothing that I would consider outrageous or abnormal. Well, you previously testified that you were asked the question. That was pretty... Where did I just go? It was pretty dangerous to do this at high rate of speed. Wait, you previously testified that you were asked the question, it was pretty dangerous to do this at such a high rate of speed to the right, and you said, yes, sir. And then you were asked reckless, and you said at a high rate of speed, yeah. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. At that kind of speed, doing anything is reckless. Taking a sharp right turn like that would be considered something that would be dangerous. Normally, you would get into a rollover situation or flip your car. Just like driving 100 miles per hour is pretty reckless. Yeah, absolutely. What is occupant kinematics? Good question. Why are we asking him? That's the movement of the occupant within the vehicle. Were you not asked to do anything with respect to that? Nope, that's not in my field, sir.
Honor, hearsay. This is outside the scope of cross-examinations. Objection, lack of foundation. Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Not in your field, and you're supposed to be an expert in the black box. Well, no, he's not really. I mean, he says, yes, I've been doing it for a while. And you've been qualified in court? I've been qualified as an expert. If I could have a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further. Redirect. Redirect of Mark Sargent by Mr. Troop. How many crashes have you investigated? Over 1,000. And what's your testimony that we'll call it the black box in this case, indicated 100% acceleration, 0 brake application, correct, for the entire duration of the event? Yes. How many of those type of crashes have you ever investigated with those specific factors? I don't think I can quantify a number. It would be very, very few, if any. I'd really have to research that significantly. I don't remember any that there was 100% throughout the entire duration with absolutely no brake application. Like I said, I cannot remember any. Is it your testimony that the trigger number 5, that's trigger 5, occurred approximately, are you coming up with 1.7 seconds prior to impact? Yeah, about 1.7 seconds prior to impact. So that's the hard right turn that triggers. Yeah, remember this, Phil? We talked about this. So that's the hard right turn that triggered the EDR to wake up. Yeah, this is when the boys save themselves. Well, the trigger event here appears to be when the vehicle was traveling off the roadway initially. So that would have been the first curb. Okay, I'll show you guys the picture of what he's talking about. We did a little bit of our own crash reconstruction. Not really, but we did figure out what he's talking about. This is not to scale. So we don't know how she missed the stop sign, but what he's talking about here is the car's literally, she has a runway. This is a straight road right here. She's coming in. It gets jerked. I think, well, based on our reading of all this stuff, that Dom pulls it here. She pulls it back to correct it. I don't know where it's going from neutral on this, but she jumps over this, hits the curb right here. Oh, wait, Davion jumps forward too. Anyway, that's basically what they're talking about. All right, let's go back to court. So that would have been the first curb that would have woken it up because it registered a rollover event. The angularity would have changed. It's at 1.631 seconds in milliseconds. I'm sorry. So that's at 1.631 seconds before the deployment event. So amongst that, you have a couple of overlaps, approximately 1.7 seconds between the deployment event would have been a result of the crash, okay, and the initial trigger event. So the movement of the shifter from neutral back into drive, Mr. McDonald asked you if that could have been the driver attempting to do that. Do you recall it? Do you recall that question? Yes. Well, it would make sense for you to put the car into neutral and then back into drive while having the, would it make sense to you to put the car into neutral and then back into drive while having the accelerator at 100%? No, that's not something that would normally be done. Did you review the crash video associated with this case in conducting your analysis? I did. Do you recall that video? Yes. And does that video capture the last several seconds prior to impact? It does. Okay. This is going to be State's Exhibit 802, I bet. Oh, I have to pull it up for us. We're going to watch it with them. Because so far in this trial, we have only watched the first 20, I don't even know how many seconds, probably it's a 4-part video of the security cameras following her car down the road. And we've only watched the first 2 parts. So I am guessing right now he's about to introduce State's Exhibit. It's I want to say it's 802 because the judge talks about it in her sentence at the sentencing hearing. Okay. Thank you for holding while I find us the surveillance video. We've looked at it 100 times and now we'll find it. Oh, no wonder that McDonald was trying so hard to derail this. He must have known this exhibit was about to come in. All right. Okay, I'm just looking for, I can't remember what I named it. I think it's just surveillance, but I've uploaded all the body cams in between. All right. We are looking for the surveillance video that is about to be shown in court. And I'm guessing that's how, well, they are introducing it through this guy, which is probably why the, oh, here it is. It's only 41 seconds long, and we've watched the first 20 seconds in this trial. And I think right now we are about to watch, I think it's Exhibit 802. Okay. Well, now we have it, at least. All right. So I'm going to get back to court. And then when they say, can you identify this? Then we're going to come back and watch this with them. All right. Back to court. Okay. Does the video capture the last several seconds prior to impact? Yes, it does. Okay. If I were to play you that video, would you be able to isolate as closely as possible to when you think this triggering event occurs? Possibly. May I have a moment, Your Honor? Sure. This is going to... Oh, it is Exhibit 802. Okay. Man. Whereupon State's Exhibit 802 is played to the record, for the record. Okay. This is State's Exhibit 802. We are about to watch it. Okay. So we've already played this part. I mean, it's only 40 seconds long, but they do play it individually. So I guess we will too. Okay. This is, I think, right here is Exhibit 802. This is like also a cringeworthy moment and a trigger warning for everyone. If this part triggers you, for some reason, I cringe every single time I hear it. Oh, wait, you know what? I turned the sound down. Okay, that's Exhibit 802. That's the exhibit that the judge is like, any reasonable-minded person, after seeing that, thinks this was definitely intentional. Do you recognize this video, sir? Yeah, I do. What time on the video showing? Oh, man. I think we went too fast, but we don't have to rewatch it. It makes my heart race every single time. Okay, wait. I do want to see, though. It says 9:39:31 a.m. Okay. Oh, yeah, it does. All right, hold on. I'm just getting it back to where it says 9:39. Oh, 31. Okay. I don't know if I can go that far down. Well, here, this is where they're stopping it. Okay, that says 9:39:31 a.m. 31 seconds. Is that correct? Yeah, 31 seconds. Okay, so then they play it again for the court. But we all know where it is. Okay, wait. Okay, so 9:39:41. We can see. All right, hold on. Let's talk this out. All right, so they played it for the record, and then I stopped it at 9:39:46. 9:39. Okay, let's see if we can do it like Tim Troop. Okay, wait. We still have 6 milliseconds left. Okay, wait. 9:39:38. Okay, wait. We don't have to keep watching. I mean, we get it, right? All right. Very close to that area. I stopped it at 5:39:46. Very close to that area where the car initially leaves the roadway over the curb. It's likely the first trigger event from the amount of time that I had anyway to decipher the box, because he's not an EDR expert. That's like the first trigger event that woke the computer up. Tim Troop must just be like letting everyone testify because he's like, this is a slam dunk. They have no chance. Maybe. Okay, right where it stopped at 5:39. Oops, we can come back to this. 5:39:41. We can see the car just to the right of the tree that's on the screen. And it appears to be the precise location where the car left the roadway. Wait a second. What is it? I don't remember seeing that. It goes so fast. Okay, wait. Oh, you know what I should do? I'm going to slow this way down. We're going to slow this down to like 55, half the speed. So we can figure out what tree he's talking about. And I muted it. Okay. So now aren't we about to jump? All right. Is it going to jump again? La, la, la. I don't know. Okay. It's very close to where it left the roadway. That would cause an angular change. And that's exactly what we had in the EDR. That was an angular change trigger, the non-deployment rollover event. Excuse me, can you clarify left the roadway? The witness. When the wheels impacted the curb and began to go onto the grass, so the roadway, the curb is to the right. Yeah, the curb is to the right. Okay, I have no idea what she's talking about. So I slowed this down and I turned the sound off because it makes me cringe every time I hear it. But, oh, maybe they're looking at this. I don't really know. But this is slowed down to half the speed, no sound, because I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. Okay. So here's the stop sign, Debbie. She's coming up right now, but it's half the speed, and no sound, so you don't have to cringe. Okay, wait. So I think what they're saying is she's off the road right here. I'm going to slow it down even more because I want to see what. Okay, here's your stop sign, Debbie. We've been trying to figure this out. So the way that she's coming up right now, this is the way that we figured it out from like all of these reports. She comes off the roadway like right here, and then she gets airborne right here across this road, and she actually hits like over here. You can see the marks on the grass. Then she clips the sign and nails the thing. Okay, so this is at a quarter of the speed. Oh, so that ended. Okay. Oh, and then you just hear the crash. Okay. So she's nice and controlled. What is this showing us? Whoa. Okay, this is a quarter speed. Yeah, it's like a runway. She's just going straight for 29 seconds. Okay, got it. All right, pausing, going back to court. All right. So yeah, this is when the boys are trying to save themselves. Your review of the crash site is that the car leaves the roadway and travels at least partially through the grass onto the sign. Well, yeah, it does that. Okay. You know that. This is true. Keep going. Yep, that's correct. What's this event? Wait, that's an event? That's the event, correct. The lefts and the rights, the neutral and the back into drive movements that are signified on the black box occur after this place and time. Is that your testimony? If you could just give me 1 second, okay? While he's looking at that sidebar, a discussion was held at the sidebar. The following proceedings were had in open court. It would appear that the trigger event number 5, that the first note of the angular change in the steering wheel is at 0.75 seconds pre-trigger. The trigger is the rollover event, is that correct? The trigger is the rollover event. What is the point of the 142.5 degree right? This is when I think Davion dove up front, right turn. When does that occur? That's at the trigger. What's the trigger event? Oh, that's the trigger event? Correct. That would be at this position. Is that your testimony? The car would be as close as you can give us in this courtroom. This is the triggering event, as close as you can put the car. Yeah, that would be the initial event right here. He's indicating it. And so my earlier question regarding the car being placed into neutral and back into drive, yes. Does that occur after this triggering event? Oh, it had to be before, right? The car being shifted from drive to this sequential state, which is the manual shift state, was at 1.75 seconds pre-trigger. So it was slightly before. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So Davion, this is my guess. Davion was trying to, he shifted into neutral. She put it right back into drive. And then he uses the momentum and the force of his body weight to pull on the wheel. Slightly before this, yeah. So the car goes back into drive just before this? Yes. So the car goes back into drive just before leaving the roadway? No, it actually goes into neutral and then into drive 2.5 seconds after. So 2.5 seconds prior. Okay, I also want to say this is superhuman ability. And I have always felt like she was possessed during this exact moment, because this is like beyond, this is like not human to be able to do everything that was done. And we have a woman who heard her say that the devil made her do it. And that's like the only explanation. Okay, so we're going to watch this, because what he's explaining is like so beyond, it's like not, like there's no reason a 17-year-old girl could logically, when you're going at 100 miles an hour, literally she hit it with like bullseye, like I'm forgetting my words, with like bullseye precision. So not only are the boys like jerking the wheel, she's keeping it straight ahead. The boys are also taking it out of neutral. So she's like still putting it back into drive. I think it's like I think she was possessed. I think it's superhuman. And this is a video that we found, or that I remember seeing it when it first came out. And this is like, I totally believe this. Hello, my friends. I'm back. Whew. I don't know where I lost you, but hopefully no one noticed. And even my phone was off. So I don't know where I lost you, but it looks like, yay, we're back. Hi, Ivy. We're back. I have no idea where I lost you, but it just sent a little red thing up on here that said that I lost you. So wherever that was, are we almost done with this testimony? Let's go back to court because we're wrapping it up almost. Okay, legally and Deb, is everything good? Are we all, do you need help with anything? I can see everything. Oh, you guys are good? Okay, good. I trust you guys are all handling it well. Okay, what I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me. If you heard me say this, then I will skip it. That this was like superhuman strength, I feel like, and I've been saying this, that like the precision in which the boys were like putting it into neutral, she puts it back into drive. They're jerking the wheel, she keeps it on, and she hits the corner of the building like with, I think, superhuman precision. And like there's no reason a 17-year-old should be able to like do all these drive maneuvers. I think that she was possessed, and I've been saying that. And then we found a girl who was in Con Air. We love Con Air. Yay, Con Air. We found a girl who is in the big house with her. She's out now, but she says that Mackenzie told her that the devil made her do it. And I was just going to show you guys this. A gutted 777 plane. No, but my grandpa was a gunner in a B-52, I think. Bobby's the mechanic. He knows what he's talking about. Oh, Bobby, you could have explained all this car stuff. All right. I just want, because they're talking about the precision, how it's not really realistic that a 17, even like, I don't know, could keep control of it. This is what I think happened.
The devil was pressing on my foot
Okay.
and told me that the devil made her do it. And I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And she was like, the devil was pressing on my foot and telling me that Dom has to die.
And I totally 100% believe that, because like I said, the precision of this driving ability of like a professional, I just don't think it's human. Please tell me you guys saw that. If you didn't, I think we might have to call it a night, because it's already 12:51 here on the East Coast. All right. Okay, so they're talking about the wheels jerking. And from that point, it's still at 100% acceleration. Yeah. Oh, they played 802 again. There's no effort to engage the brake. That's correct. Okay, so they play 802 again. That's how fast we're talking about? Yeah. I don't have any more questions. Please don't do a redirect. Recross? Please say no. Oh, recross. I don't even like care what his recross is. They lost. Do we care? Yeah, I totally believe that. Cuff you. I believe it too. All right. I don't care what his, I mean, they lost. Who cares what his recross is? With all due respect. I mean, they lost. He's just causing confusion. Okay. All right. We're just going to do this. Kate, call it whenever you want. Okay. I'm just going to, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, crew. He's just like creating confusion. Oh, see, this is not in my scope. Okay. I think we're good, because it's not in his scope. He says that twice. All right, we're out of here. Or we're done with court, I think. I'm just going to stop. We are. And if we have another witness, we're going to do it tomorrow. Actually, we're going to do it tomorrow anyway. I'm tired. And this is, they lost. Who cares what his cross-examination is? I probably need to go to bed. All right, my loves, thank you all so much for flying Con Air tonight. If you would like to look at the new swag inspired by our wonderful, lovely, dear, beautiful friends, I will move out of the way so you can see it. This is the new swag inspired by Mackenzie Shirilla. We have pharmaceutical sales rep. You know what, Debbie? I think when you were on it, I hadn't uploaded that yet. What the fuck? Stickers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs. You know what, Bobby? Etsy does not like the water bottles. I've tried to upload them like 4 times and it doesn't let me, but it did let me. I'm hella pleased, Your Honor. So welcome to Con Air. We are so glad you're here, flying the friendly skies. Thank you all so much for being here. Good night, Kim. Good night, everyone. I love you very much. Mucho no bueno. Good night, everyone. Thank you all so much for hanging out, flying the friendly skies. If you're on the replay crew, welcome. I love you. If you haven't dropped your city or state, drop it in the comments and I'm going to screenshot them and put them on. This would have only happened in Florida. We love Florida because they're the only ones. Yeah, she would have gotten life. She's like competing with Sarah Boone. One thing really quickly, Bobby, now that you brought that up, Sarah, I remember when Paul from the sofa, it's like Live from My Sofa or something is the name of his YouTube channel. And I highly recommend him, especially if you like Sarah Boone. He literally, this was like when he had like 30,000 subs. I have over 100,000. I remember he got the plaque, but like 4 or 5 years ago, he was like, this was before trial. He was like, Sarah Boone is the only person that could turn like a 4-year sentence into a life sentence. And she turned like a 7-year sentence into life or something. He called it like 5 years in advance. Pray that can fight. You know what we should do actually is see where we talked about this, where the Canadian fires started. And if there's a smart city, I have the smart city plan. I have questions about those Canadian fires. And even if people saw it or if they're going to blame it on someone, I have questions about those fires. And probably not at 1 a.m, but you're in Cleveland. Oh, vacate. Did I not put Cleveland on our map? If you enjoyed hanging out today, please give it a like. Yes, we have the best crew. Yes. Thank you, Debbie. If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, please give it a thumbs up, a like, share, subscribe. do all the things. We are so glad you're here. Thank you so much for watching. Couldn't do it without the Con Air crew and everyone else that keeps us all in line and on track. We are going to resume Mackenzie Shirilla tomorrow. Please post legalese GFM. Legally, what are they asking? I love the energy here. Welcome. We love you. Like, the two rules are don't be a dick and act like you're an English lit. Like, act like you're a normal human. Those are the two rules. Legally, they're asking, oh, we have no, my boo. Paula, we have a world map. I'm going to put Australia. Oh, wait. I will put Australia on it, and we love the sponge. Hey, Legally, Ivy is asking something of you. Are you still in here, boo? Where's our friend Legally? I know I saw her earlier. Good night, Kate. Good night, everyone. Wait, this is the girl, Freedom Fighter. This is the girl that said she lied after the interview. Oh, yeah, AG Tactical covers this. I think Natalie got to her. That's right. The pedal to the metal. Okay. Where is Legal? Ivy and Legal. Kate, call it whenever you want. Okay, I do. And we're definitely done. I don't see Legal. Oh, here she is. She wasn't feeling well yesterday. Oh, okay. I think Legal and Ivy got it all figured out. All right, good. And a huge thank you to Legal. She's the one, or this boo thing, got us all these documents. And we're just plugging away at them. The wild ones are like, now that I'm finding all of her social media stuff, I mean, she screwed, other than the fact that like her phone, oh my God, tells on her so bad. Literally, they could probably present this entire thing with the black box in her phone and call it a day. She implicates herself like beyond. All right, everyone. I love you all so much. Thank you so. Oh, wait. I want to show you. This is the picture I found at my grandpa's house after he died. And Bobby, you'll know what this all is. I don't really know. We found it. He didn't ever talk about the war, but after he died, we found this like box. And this was the plane he flew. Oh, can you see it? Let me get out of the way. No, you can't see it. This one. He was a gunner down here. Where? Oh, you can't see it. I can't see it from here. Like he was right under this bubble. Oh, right there, that bubble. Anyway, that was what my grandpa did. And then he came back from the war and he never wanted to manage anyone ever again or